Good evening. Welcome to the May 27th, 2026 meeting of the Town of Concord Historic Districts Commission. The commission will review 3 new applications, 2 continued applications, and 3 items under other business. We are conducting this meeting online in accordance with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. The public may access this call through both telephone and video conferencing. Members of the public will have an opportunity to ask questions and provide public comment on applications and discussions following the petitioner's presentation and questions from the commissioners. To do so, please raise your hand in the participant function of the Zoom meeting platform. If you are calling in and cannot use the platform, you may raise your hand by dialing *9. Our host will mute microphones of those not speaking, and in order to preserve bandwidth, may need to turn off video at times, with the exception of the commissioners, the host, and the current applicant. The chair will call on commissioners for comments on an application and then open the meeting for public comment. Once there are no more public comments, I will ask for a motion from the commission to continue, to approve with conditions, or to reject. Ask for a second and then conduct a roll call vote. Once the commission has acted on an application, the applicant is free to leave the meeting. So I will do a roll call for members. We have a nice complement tonight. Okay, Jeff Young.
Here.
Bill Hewitt.
Here.
Walter Clay.
Here.
Louis Caldarella.
Here.
Tim Whitney.
Here.
Kristen Dahlman.
Here.
And I think that's it. Sorry, I almost said Jeff Adams. Sorry about it. That would have surprised you, Jeff. The voting members tonight will be Tim Whitney, Bill Hewitt, Walter Clay, Kristen Dahlman, and myself. And without further ado, the Ruhlmans are the first ones up with their kitchen vent.
Do I just say what we want to do, or how does this work?
Well, you can tell us what you want to do. We do have some notes on it. If you have any really compelling pictures you'd like to share with us, that you could do that, but I, don't think you need to.
I think you guys probably have everything I have.
Yeah.
Ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, let's see, Anne, are you going to put up the picture?
Oh, yes, sure.
Thanks.
Here comes. So that's what they've submitted.
Sorry, what, Anne?
That's what they've submitted. They would just like to introduce a vent above this bay window.
Mm-hmm.
That's visible from the street.
Is it visible from the street?
Yes.
Let's see, that's on the north side of Wood.
Yeah, it's on the north side. It's about a 6 by 6 inch vent that we're planning to paint the exact color of the shingle. So you
Yeah.
could see it, but I think it would be very hard to actually see
Yeah,
from the road.
really have to be looking for it. Like, where did the Ruhlmans put that vent? So I was just wondering, where it's visible from. I guess Wood, driving up Wood, but
Yep.
it doesn't mean it's a vent. It's small. So do any commissioners have any questions about the vent?
I have 2 actually.
Okay, great.
And one is just that I couldn't figure out really, and I didn't drive by, what the orientation of the house is on the lot. That's something that is probably mildly germane.
I think we have an interesting house because you can see our entire house from either Main Street or Wood Street, all 4 sides of it. And both are in the historic district. So the front of the house is not that view. It's the side of the house that you would see if you were driving from Elm Street down Wood Street and sort of
Mhm.
looked to the side of the house. You can see it, but it's not the front. And the side of the house that's on Main Street is much more prominent.
Okay, yeah, that's just sort of curiosity. And when was that bay window? Is that original to the house?
It pre-existed our ownership of the house. So I
But
don't know when it
but
was put
probably
in.
not original to the house.
No, I don't think that's original to the house.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Those are my two questions.
Thank you, Walter. Anyone else? No commissioner questions. I will open up public comment on the vent here. It appears to be no public comment on the vent. So would someone like to put up a motion, please?
I could move that we approve 10 Wood Street's application to install a kitchen vent as submitted.
I'll second.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Lois. And I'll go around for vote. Walter,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Kristen,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
and I am an aye. And so it passes unanimously.
Thank you all so much.
Thanks for that.
Appreciate
Thanks. Okay, great.
That was easy.
One down. I know, wasn't it? Well, okay, so next we have do we have the Haywood? Is it Delia next?
By the agenda, yes.
For
Yeah.
the Haywood Meadow Wall. I saw Delia before, but I'm not sure if she's presenting. Hi, Delia. Are you going to present?
Yes.
Okay. Hello.
Hi, Delia Kay, Natural Resources Director for the town. And thank you for the opportunity to present in front of the HDC tonight. I'm going to just
Sorry.
share.
I'm having a very hard time hearing you, Delia.
Okay, 1 second.
Wow, full get up.
Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Much better.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I think something's wrong with my computer microphone. I apologize. So I will go ahead and share my screen if that's okay.
Hmm.
I think I just need approval to share. Okay. So I just want to give a little bit of a project overview if you can see my screen. This is Haywood Meadow here. It is bounded by Lexington Road. This is the gun house. The gun house is over here. This is the Emerson House, Walden Street, Haywood Meadow, Haywood Street bisects the meadow, and this is Mill Brook that runs through the meadow. And the project location is a 50-foot long section of wall close to the Mill Brook. And what we are proposing to do is to restore that 50-foot section of wall, which is dilapidated and in need of replacement or restoration. And I'm sorry, I think I have too many screens open. So let me get to another window to share here. This is Haywood Street is to my right, and Lexington Road is to the plan. It's in the middle of the plan or photograph, and Walden Street is sort of in this location here. So it is this 50-foot long section of wall that you've probably walked by and maybe never even noticed. It's only 10 inches high. It's a fieldstone wall, but it was capped at some point in the 20th century with concrete, which obviously is historically inappropriate. We propose to remove the concrete cap, remove the stone, store the stone, and build it up to about an 18-inch foot height to be in keeping with the walls that are along Lexington Road. The one on one side of Lexington Road is a little bit higher, but that was restored to its historically appropriate or its historical height. So this is coming up to about 18 inches between these two granite posts. The concrete cap will be removed. About 20 tons of weathered stone will be brought in, and the goal is to match the other stone walls that are in the meadow. And these are photographs, close-ups. The wall is deteriorating. This is a sort of a sinkhole that you can see on the back side of the wall. This wall does function as a retaining wall for the sidewalk, and so we do believe it's important to restore that wall so that it is not only aesthetically improved, but also maintains the integrity of the sidewalk. This restoration effort is in keeping with the 2023 update to the Haywood Meadow Landscape Preservation Plan, and the work has been awarded funding through Community Preservation Act monies. And I would be happy to answer any questions.
I have one question, Delia. Like when you're facing Lexington Road, you have half of the meadow on the left, half on the right. And I remember over the last 30 years, you've done work on both of them. And I would say that they don't look consistently the same, that the one on the left doesn't quite look as naturalistic as the one on the right. I think Stan Noble's the one on the right, I'm not sure. But it's a much better wall. And I don't know if we have any say on, the quality of stone walls or what they look like, but I would prefer to see something closer to the one on the right.
So when you say the one on the right, you mean the gun house side of the meadow?
That's the gun house side, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
substantially more attractive.
I agree. The one on the left seems more refined.
Right. We did write the RFP for both of those walls to have the contractor demonstrate that they were able to restore a stone wall in keeping with 17th and 18th century stone walls. It does go through a public procurement process, and so I would very much be interested in having the original contractor win this award for the this section of wall, but there's no way that we can guarantee that outcome. It is based on low bid as well as the qualitative analysis of the proposal. But I can certainly appreciate that comment.
Yeah.
Delia, the concrete you're taking off, the height of that, what is the height of that relative to what you want to finish as the new wall? Is the new wall coming up higher than the concrete?
It will come up. So it's a 10-inch variable height. It ranges from, I would say, 8 to 12 across the length of that 50 feet.
Yeah.
And that includes the concrete cap. So say the average 10-inch high wall will be raised to an 18-inch fieldstone wall. And I do want to mention that we do anticipate that there will be some mortar that's used on the interior of the wall, but it won't be visible. And that's consistent with the other stone walls that have been restored.
And the two end granite posts will remain, is that correct?
They'll be removed and reset.
Yeah.
So I can share, would it be helpful to share the construction drawings?
Sure.
Okay. Let me do that. So this is, the sidewalk is here. This is a 1.5 foot high section of wall and 2 foot width. and the back of wall varies in height from 3 feet to 8 feet, depending on the back of wall grade. So the existing, as in the other stone walls, the existing foundation stones, we expect that those will remain in place. These stones will be removed, stored, and reused in the restoration of the wall.
More retainage than I thought.
Yeah.
This should last a while. No need for concrete caps.
Exactly.
I did have a question about the use of mortar on the top. It strikes me as at 18-inch above grade, it's going to be used as a bench. It's a 10-inch is not sat on much, or little kids will walk on it, but I have a hard time believing you'll keep it stable without some hidden mortar on the top.
Our hope is that the mortars is within the
Yeah.
wall itself,
Sure.
and maybe within the top stones to keep the kids walking and sitting on it from moving the stones. Yeah, but the goal is that it's not visible.
And Bill, luckily we have benches all around there too.
Indeed. Walls are more fun to walk on if you're 10 years old.
Oh boy.
Definitely.
Any other questions for Delia from the commission?
Looks terrific.
All right, let's see if any public comment on the wall refurbishment around Haywood Meadow. Let's see, no raised hands. Oh, okay, all right, back to the commission. Could we have a motion for this application?
I'll move we approve the proposed stone wall replacement as submitted along Lexington Road, Haywood Meadow, as submitted.
Great, a second.
Second.
Thank you, Jeff. And let's go for a vote. Tim,
Aye.
Kristen,
Aye.
Bill,
Right?
Walter,
Aye.
and I am an aye. So thank you. That passes, Delia, and thanks for coming before us.
Thank you very much for your time. Have a nice evening.
Thanks, you
Good
too.
night.
Thank you.
You.
All right. Now we move on to, I believe, Lowell Road. And it's the Calabros, if I pronounce that correctly.
Yeah, you did. You
I did? Awesome.
You
And
get it.
your
You got it
door.
right.
Okay,
You got
thanks.
it right. Yeah, good. So we ready to go?
Yes.
So I want to thank the group. Kind of want to highlight that we're not attorneys, we're not contractors, we're not even designers. We're just landowners trying to do our best research and achieve a vision that's important to us. I think it's important to this group. We're probably going to be together numerous times over the next year and a half. You know that the property needs significant restoration, and we're pretty committed to that. We moved from 287 Westford in Concord. I'm not sure if any of you guys know that property. Substantially large property, to Lowell Road with the explicit intention of simplicity and conservation. We wish to have the property and the historic nature as a legacy in our family for generations to come. And it's our full intent to preserve the buildings, and we've already started to demonstrate that. We've winterized 322. We've done foundational repairs. You guys will be seeing a series of permits opening up over the next couple of weeks. We're actually going to move out of the 320 home for the next month and a half to do structural repairs to the beams underneath the house, to do roofing and water flow management, to replace the furnace and heating system, which is not only outdated, but probably left us freezing a bunch of times this winter. We're doing restoration and cleanup to the historic fireplaces, the floors, and the woodwork, as well as preservation of the kitchen, where we're restoring the existing cabinets and only changing the appliances. So I thought that was pretty important, just to give you guys context of what what our desired outcome is. And what we're simply asking you is to work with us over the next year and a half, because our desire is to make the home slightly more livable and allow us to make it ours, and to put our little stamp on it in its history, right? So tonight we're here to talk about several improvements to the home, and I'll go in whatever order best suits this group. The first is, and then I can pull up a picture of where each of these are, is on the 320 property. The rear sliding glass doors, which are a replacement to an addition that was probably made in the past 60 years, maybe, the sunroom. And the replacement of the sliding glass doors are exactly as previously input, but it's a Pella door. It's much more energy efficient and of higher quality. The next on the agenda for tonight is a back door to 322. Replaced exactly as the previous, more energy efficient and higher quality door. And then the final items, which is probably up for more discussion, is sconces on the 320 property that match the scones of a previous historical pick that we found, along with the replacement of a 320 door with an improved efficiency, providing more light and some passive energy efficiency. Along with finally a discussion of trim color. Okay. Is there any questions about kind of all the things we have to go over tonight? And if not, I'll start sharing and presenting some pictures if you'll bear with me.
No, I just want to ask Anne something. And trim color isn't appearing on my agenda. Was that on the application for tonight?
So the trim color was a last minute change.
Okay.
But because trim color actually doesn't need a public hearing because of the way the Historic District Act is written, I think it might be okay to consider it other business. And just to lump it all together at one meeting, if that makes sense.
Just wanted to be sure. Yeah, because I found the other things. Okay, great.
Mr. Calabro, could I just ask, as you tick through each one of these, you help us understand what is visible from a public way?
You actually just teed me up.
All right.
Here we go. Okay. If you can see 312, hold on. See, can you see it there? How do I get it up? Okay. So here's Lowell Road along this dimension. Can you guys follow on screen?
Yep.
This is Lowell Road, and this is Liberty. Okay. And then I'll show you some actual pictures. But the front door of the property is here. And I would say the front door is visible about 2 months of the year, maybe 3, the winter months, because there's a lot of trees and shrubs here. The rear sliding glass door, I guess if you look hard enough, maybe you can see it from Liberty. I would say no. And
a lot of apple trees between that house and Liberty Street.
You got it. You got our neighbor has a bunch of apple trees, and there's, unfortunately, as Delia probably has left the call, we've already started working on the efficient removal of a whole bunch of invasives that just cover that area very, very thickly. So you have the rear patio door, which is right here, potentially, which I doubt very much, I'd say not visible from Liberty Road. The front door, which is visible very slightly from Lowell. And then the final door that we're going to talk about is actually on 322, which is right here. Absolutely not visible from any road at any time of the year.
Thank you.
And if we want to pop over, this is the visibility, and I can maybe expand this for you. This is the visibility of the front door from Lowell Road. You can see the garage of 322. I guess if you take the right angle, we tried to take this angle driving up the road. I guess if you stop and you're walking, you might be able to see the front door. But, I mean, it's pretty obscure right here.
And what time of year is this? It looks like
this is February. January, February. This area here becomes heavily bushed, as well as these trees becoming heavily bushed. And then there's large bushes and trees that are leafless in this area in the later months. Okay. questions about the locations of the items that we're discussing?
And that's the door that had the light fixture proposal?
Yes, that's the scones and the door. Okay?
Got it.
All right.
And I have a question. How long have you been the owner of this property now?
We have owned the property since June of last year or July of last year.
Thank you.
We had a heck of a winter. Both winterizing and trying to lock things up and make the furnace work. But again, our intent was always about simplification, and we're committed to the building. Okay?
And I think that, remind me, Larry,
Yeah.
I think right when I came on the commission, you replaced that door per our approval, right? So it's
Yeah,
currently
we did. Yeah, we did.
a
We're
molded
we're
fiberglass
inexperienced.
door, correct?
Yeah, go ahead, Tim. I'm sorry. Complete
It
your
was,
sentence.
I think we approved a molded fiberglass door. Is that correct?
No.
Or paneled
No. There was nothing. The only thing that we've had discussions about is we when we first moved in, we added a storage shed behind the building outside of everyone's visibility. And yes, we worked with Pella to do the door replacements that you were speaking of here. And yes, they did not get the permitting process done before they started the execution of the work. Maybe that's what you're referring to, Tim.
No, but I'm not questioning anything. I just want to just let the commission know that if I'm correct, that the current door is not an historic door. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah, okay. That's all.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, but it was also replacement by Anderson presenting at that point.
By
was it not?
Pella. By Pella.
Because we did discuss that door in some detail, and it was
With us? Not with me. With anybody. There was never a historic hearing on that door at
I'm not,
340
that's,
Low.
the reason I was asking how long you had been there is I think it was before you were there, but we had
Oh, okay. Okay.
but we had
Yeah,
visited
so-
specifically that door, and after some back and forth, we were asking about whether, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Tim, but if I remember correctly, we were asking whether it could be replaced with a wood door, and we were told that it could only be fiberglass and that it was going to have to be enlarged to fit. And after some questions back and forth, I believe that the response that we got was that the company that was being hired to do the replacement did not provide an option for wood doors.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just I don't recall, but I do
Yeah.
believe we approved a fiberglass door that painted would look like wood.
Yeah, nothing to do with us. And I would
Okay.
say, yeah, I would say that
I'm
wasn't the
not,
most
I'm not
attractive
saying it
door.
was.
Yeah. Wasn't very attractive, wasn't very energy efficient either.
Right.
But anyways, yes, I guess there was. We didn't research the history of the permits on the door.
Okay.
Right. Which order would you like to go in? Possibly maybe we'll take the easy ones, which is the rear door. Am I still sharing?
Yes, you are.
Okay. This is the rear door. If you can remember, I'll flip back here. Hold on. I hope I can do this quickly.
And hold on, Larry, this is visible from Liberty?
This is not visible from neither Lowell and not visible from Liberty.
So there's
Got it.
no need.
Not,
To talk about.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
So, and I just call out, it's an exact replacement. Okay.
Mhm.
The next one, which was on the list, is a door on the back of 322. I'm sorry, 322 is right here. I was talking about our neighbor's house that just went up for sale. All right. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that property. It would be what, 320? I don't know what the number is.
330.
So 322 is right here. There is a door, a rear door that is leaking like a sieve and causing some energy efficiency issues. And that one there is also being replaced with an exact like door of higher standard and quality.
Not
Again,
visible
not
from either
visible, correct.
Lowell or Liberty.
Not visible from either Lowell or Liberty.
Thank you.
Okay. So we good on those two?
Yes.
Okay. So the next topic of discussion is sconces for the front door at 320, along with the replacement of a door that is that is glass and permits the entrance of light. We're replacing the existing door, which you guys talked about, with the highly efficient, energy efficient Pella door. The modifications to the design are to balance, the preservation of the historic character while addressing the energy efficiency. And we also have a high preference and need for natural light for the wellness of the people in the house, and utilizing a design that is minimally invasive and fully reversible. All right, so the door, as we've just highlighted, is potentially seasonably visible. In the off season, it's shielded. We are asking for no changes in the actual structure of the building, the size, the moldings, anything. So there's no permanent physical change to the building, and the alteration is non-permanent. There's nothing preventing anybody down the road from changing it back. We believe it's in character with some of the previous historical respections to the building. And let me show you some pictures that are in our research. There is a storm door that is fully glass. And when we come back, we'll probably show this picture. We actually picked the sconces based on this picture here. Okay? And this picture came from where, huh? It's one of the historic researches of the Hosmer buildings. Okay? And this was a previous representation of it. So what we're really asking for is, 12 months of the year to have, a more efficient door with light that provides both energy efficiency passively and helps meet some of our needs for living from a wellness perspective of natural light into the home.
Do you have one of the things we ask for is a picture of what the proposed door looks like?
Yeah, we have
exactly what it is. Yeah, if you have the tear sheet.
It's right, hold on. That's the old door.
Mm-hmm.
That's the old sconces. Kind of price efficient. This is and we have this one historically, which was also glass, but only double pane. And we have what we're proposing right now, which is 2 new sconces and a new door. Obviously, it's not been painted.
Do you have the specific door in mind?
This one here.
Right. Okay.
So you've installed it already.
Is there a tear?
Yeah, they started the permit. We thought they had cleared the permit process, and they did not. But this is installed right now. We would need to remove it, which obviously we follow rules. But these are the sconces and these are the doors. Obviously, this has not been painted, but this is the door we're proposing.
Wait, so the sconces have also been installed as well?
Yes, correct.
So everything we're looking at, and do you have any tear sheets from the manufacturer on these?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
That would be good because that would help us.
Let's see. Did you download those to me?
It should be it's in the file.
All right, let me go ahead. I mean, tear sheets. Okay, hold on a second.
I think I have them if you'd like me to bring them.
Yeah, please. You want to present? You want me to stop sharing?
Okay, yes.
I have the sconce tear sheet. Do you want the sconce tear sheet or do you want the doors? Okay, I have the sconce tear sheet. Let's do the sconce tear sheet and then we'll let Ann do the doors tear sheet.
Great, thank you.
What am I doing? Where am I at? I got to go to Microsoft Word. Okay, there's the sconce tear sheet right there.
Okay. And not dark sky compliant. Could you scroll down a little bit, Larry? Is there more information on that?
No, we have just a snapshot. You want to know if it's dark sky? What's that?
Like the yellow lighter bulb.
Oh, it's a yellow lighter bulb?
No, I'm saying you can do a different
Okay.
type bulb.
Is there something you're looking for that we can achieve via a bulb?
No, it's the design of the fixture to prevent light going
Upward
upward.
light?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And how is that was not a requirement when we were taking a look at some of these pictures with these sconces, correct?
That fixture would, it's hard to tell, but that fixture would be a little bit more dark sky compliant because the top is solid, from what I can tell from the picture.
But had that come up for review before the HDC, the question would be asked.
That's an old photograph.
Yeah, that's
That's before dark sky compliance.
yeah, I think it's just exactly. So yeah, are you familiar, Larry, with the HDC guidelines on the website?
Like I said, we do our best.
Well,
We do our best. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm familiar with where they're at. Did I read every one of them perfectly or read them entirely? Probably not.
no, but actually they'll be a good resource for you. I mean, you started off by saying you'll be having a
Yeah.
lot coming up in the
Yeah.
next year and a half. So they are there for homeowners to refer to kind of make this all a little less opaque and
Okay.
kind of help steer you a little bit. So it's we have a good 2 pages on lighting.
Okay.
But so that's all right. So is there anything else that's been installed already
No.
we should know about? Okay.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. All right. So what's left to see?
So is there any questions about the door? Obviously, we talked about the sconce. Is there any questions about the door?
Well, I'd like to go back to the door that you replaced to the picture of the orange one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that I believe, and you think that's a Pella door?
No,
Wait,
no.
so when you were referring to Pella, you were referring to the door that you
The new
installed,
doors that we
not
replaced
the
were
door that
Pella all
had
the way
been there.
around. This is, I think it was a Home Depot door, to be honest with you.
Quite honestly, I think that it is a renewal by Anderson door, and that was the
Okay.
discussion that we had gone through in some depth about this. The other
Okay.
thing is you've been speaking about being able to reverse this back to its original state. And if I remember, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct on this, part of the discussion was that the framing for this door was going to be changing the existing structure of the house.
So to achieve,
all I'm saying is that you can go back to this opening, but going back to that opening is not the same as going back to historically what was there before the
okay.
exception was made for the fiberglass door.
Yeah, so we would have had to modify the building if we wanted to go back to the original, is what you're saying, correct?
Well, what I'm saying is that the not paying attention to your Pella door, the door from the historic photos that you were showing is of a different size than your installed door now and
Okay.
the orange door that was installed, because the argument was being made that the framing had to be changed to allow that orange door.
Oh, okay. But so we
So
matched
so
the orange
you
door.
can very well, the short of what I'm saying is you can very well remove your Pella door, go back to the same size door that was there before, but that's still an interim step between your Pella and what had been historically the structure of the house.
Oh, okay. But you approved the change in framing last time, correct?
I believe most of us did.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So Anne,
I guess I would just add a few more things on the door and the glass in the door. I don't know what the contention for the door would be, but for us and for the wellness of the people in the property, natural light is an important feature for health, and we've documented that in our application.
So everything on that door that looks like it is glass is glass. It's full light
That's correct.
for the entire door.
That's correct.
Does it reflect the sun at sunset time?
It has the characteristics to filter light in the summer and filter the bad light in the summer and capture
My
the good
question,
light
does it
in the-
reflect, is there glare that comes off from the sunset that
No,
reflects back
not
off?
that I'm aware, not that I can experience,
Okay.
Walter. But yeah, I'll just call out that, this is also a definite wellness request accommodation, and we've documented that in our request.
Right. That's the main front door. There's nothing behind it, so you can look right inside the house?
Correct.
Okay.
But
And
it's there to maximize the light that comes through.
I understand that. Thank you.
But
And
you have a direct view from Lowell Road.
You
through
do
that.
not. You once again, we've established that we have some months there's a view from Lowell Road.
Yeah.
But it's in the winter months,
Yeah,
primarily, and you have to have the right angle.
just to be clear, Mr. Crawford, the view from the public way, whether it's a month or 12, if it's visible 1 month, it's considered visible from a public way for the purposes of our discussion. So we do have to consider that.
okay, thanks, Anne. Here it is. Got it. All right. Oak door. Okay. Can everybody see that?
I see something. If that's what I'm supposed to see, then yes, I can see it.
It's the tear sheet on the.
Fiber classic oak.
Mhm.
Yes.
And so it's a modern door with no mullions.
Yeah.
It
On
has the ability to have mullions.
Yeah, so you showed a photo of a door that had glass in it,
Mm-hmm.
the top half.
We had stopped work, so we gave you a picture of what's there now. Pella clearly offers mullions for the door. Or mullins. I'm sorry, sir. Tim, I don't necessarily know the perfect words, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, I was thinking that there was I'd be more amenable to this if you had based the new glass, understand the need for light and health, but unfortunately, we don't. That's really not much of our consideration for,
sir, I would respectfully say so that case law says otherwise. Case law in Massachusetts says that historic does not trump wellness needs, and that was not my intent to be here. But since you made the comment that's not your concern, it actually is by the ADA a concern and a consideration.
Well, for historic district, that's not our purview. But anyway,
you want me to cite the case law?
No, we'd like to get back to the design, if
Okay.
you don't mind.
All right, yeah, I can cite the case law if you'd like to, but go ahead.
So what I'm saying is, if you base the new door off of that historic photograph that had the top half glazed with mullions, I would be more amenable to doing this, because right now it's a modern door and one of Concord, as you know, one of Concord's most historic houses. So, and as Bill said, whether it's a month visible or 12 months, doesn't really matter. We have to go by visibility from the public right away.
No, you have your rules, and I completely appreciate them and respect them. We have the ability to add mullions, and we can consider doing that. So, yeah.
Larry, I wonder if you could show us that picture you showed us with the glass door that was different.
The storm door.
It had like a storm door, then on the inside it had two large glass
Okay.
panels. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm running out of memory. This one here that has a horse carriage in front of it.
It had two large glass
There you go.
panels, but it was a wood door. But it looked like it would allow light to come in, but also be historically appropriate.
Limited light.
Yeah, less light.
We're really looking to get as much natural illumination as possible of light.
Yeah, Larry, I understand that too. And I've got a couple of glass doors full, but they've got the mullions in there. And that adds, that works a lot better with a colonial house
So
than just
could we get an agreement that this design would allow a reasonable amount of light if we add 2 mullions to it? Because the door is fully capable of having
Yeah,
mullions.
we need to see the specific dimensions of the mullions. The answer in principle is probably yes, but we need to see the dimensions of those mullions so that we can look at the proportions relative to the windows on either side and above it.
The dimensions and the number too. Number of mullions.
Yeah, usually a door that size, they're going to be like 3/5.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just throw something out, which is what I'm thinking of. Just I understand the concern about getting light in the house, but that's your goal. Our goal is to maintain the historic integrity of the house and therefore of the district, which is what our charge is. Would you possibly be open to a two-part solution, the same way that a screen door can be in place to allow life-giving air in? If you have, I imagine if you're lit behind it, and my question would also be, what's directly behind that door?
So if you're familiar with the need for light, it doesn't go away in the winter months. And
No,
a
that's not
storm door,
that's not
a
my
storm
question.
door-
My immediate question is, what is directly behind that door? Is it into a living room or into a hall?
it is into a vestibule and living room. Corner of it
Okay.
hits the vestibule, the
So-
rest of the light reaches the living room.
And the
Okay.
living room has its own door. So because, like old houses, they all seem, there's a lot of separate rooms with separate
Sure.
doors. So when you walk through the front door, you run into the door for the living room. That is an historic wooden door that pretty much remains shut. As far as physically what's behind the door as you walk in, there's a radiator to your left. I know during the application process, it may have been suggested to do, a storm door in front of another door. There's just not enough room.
Well, that's what I'm hinting at, is wondering if it is possible to have a mullioned glass door in the position that a traditional screen storm door would take, and then have a more solid door behind it that, when it is closed, would give a more historic look and maintain the integrity of the historicity of the building.
Is that door open out or in? Yeah, it's pretty crowded in that spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to work with you and with us in a way that makes sense.
I mean, we can show you what Pella offers for mullions on that specific door.
That's what we need to see.
Okay, we'll follow up with that.
They usually have to be put on in the factory, though, I thought, but I don't know. There's all kinds of great new adhesives. I guess they could come put it on in the field.
Site lease law.
No, I don't.
I don't know.
I'm
Sometimes
not
they come
sure.
with like little plugs on the side where they go in.
Yeah, that's what's available.
Is it fit on the inside or go on the outside?
It fits on the inside.
Yeah, I would imagine the inside.
Okay.
Is that good or bad?
Well, for historic integrity, it's not, what I would recommend.
It's not the preferable choice for historic integrity.
Okay.
Yeah. It's still going to look like a glass door from the outside, just a flat plane of glass, something that, almost like a supermarket.
Stuff like so quickly.
Okay. I will find out.
All right. So it seems like we still have some questions about the door. Let's loop back to this in a second. Just make sure we've covered everything on your list, or did that do it? You're on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the question?
I was saying that have we covered everything on your list for now? I think did you
I mean, we had a trim color question, but doesn't seem like that's very relevant right now because the trim was for the door.
Well, no, it was for other doors, but I think it was situated in a different spot for the meeting, is my understanding.
Yeah, is that okay to cover that for this meeting? I mean, we're happy to show you the color we're looking for to do the doors,
Sure.
if that's
Yeah.
of interest to the group.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if I've exhausted my my machine's memory to share. Is everyone still seeing the share?
No.
Not
No.
yet.
It's in
No.
the historic collection, I believe.
This
it's
is the
Benjamin-
historic collection of who?
I believe it's Benjamin
It's
Moore.
either Benjamin Moore
I can
or
find out.
Sherman Williams. I think
It's HC.
it's HC, yeah, historic collection.
Yeah.
I think it's Benjamin Moore and maybe Sherman Williams.
I think Benjamin Moore starts with HC.
Yeah,
Almost.
it does.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that is a
So, yeah. that's
another
good.
color too.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a good color. Great. Thank you. But as Ann said, that was kind of already covered. So thank you for just showing it to us. All right. So that still leaves the so the issue to the Calabros is the window, the door and the sconces that you've installed already. I'm not sure they would have passed if they had gone through before installation. That's sort of what we certainly the light fixtures, the pair of them not being dark sky compliant and that being on your front door and facing Lowell Road. But maybe the wattage is low enough. I'm not sure. Bill, you're pretty better versed on this stuff, I think, than I am.
Yeah, I mean, we do specify that they should be dark sky compliant.
Mhm.
They're under an eave, so it's probably I think what we also specify in the guidelines, and it's probably worth your going back and reading them, is the maximum wattage is 25
Mhm.
in those fixtures. Because it will throw a lot of light out to the public way. Yes, the trees will block it some months of the year. So I mean, other than not dark sky compliant, we would stipulate the wattage of the bulbs as described in the guidelines.
Mhm.
And Kate, it says in the guidelines, light bulb needs to be fully shielded within the fixture and is not visible to adjacent properties, pedestrians, or motorists. That's the light bulb. So
Right.
you have to have a cutoff where you can't see the bulb. That's the glare factor on these fixtures. So it's coupled with the wattage. That's just right in the 4 pages of lighting.
Mhm. So there it doesn't look in those fixtures, right? Those kind of caged onion fixtures. I don't think there's a way they could be rendered dark sky compliant, right? I mean, so,
And we've not approved those style fixtures in the recent past.
Can there be a shield put on top of the bulb?
I think you'd have to check with your supplier or manufacturer.
Yeah.
so I'm wondering, should we continue this application for some more questions, or should we?
Sure, I can follow up with the outstanding questions now for the glass door to get the dimension or the millions, if it's possible, the dimensions of them, how many.
Yep.
And then for the outdoor light, yeah, I mean, yes, we can follow up with if there's any sort of dark light, dark night compliant options for that particular light fixture. And it may not seem like we care about dark light, but we are actually very adamant about it. I honestly keep my lights off most of the time, so I get it. So yeah, I can follow up and see if it's possible to have it under the certain wattage that you.
And if you have a chance, read the guidelines because it's pretty clear on what we ask for.
Yep.
And the idea is that the lights where people walk, not the entire surrounding area and the side of the house, things like that.
Yeah.
There is no sidewalk on Lowell or Liberty.
Yeah, there's one in Lowell.
Yeah, there is.
On the far side of Lowell.
Yeah.
On the far side of Lowell. Okay.
Yeah, it's on the other side.
It's on the far side. Yeah.
Uh,
Not on Liberty.
I think we were just excited to move into the house, and we've learned a lot. So here we are.
Right. No, it's true. There is a lot to keep track of and not always what you might think, but it's also, standards that we have to apply across all the districts and all the same projects as best we can. Does anyone feel like we should go see the door? Is anyone feeling a need for
I don't think it's that until we see the dimensions of the proposed mullions.
Okay. All right. Just checking on that. Okay, then let me do any other commissioners have any other questions for the Calabros at the moment before I open it to public comment?
So, Kate, I just want to be clear. Everything else other than that front door and those two sconces is not visible. So we're just talking about that, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean,
the two other doors are not under our purview.
Yeah, and the paint was okay anyway. So
and they are a replacement essentially in kind anyway.
In kind.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah. Let's see. I'm just gonna see if there are any people who'd like to comment, any neighbors in the area or anything like that. Any questions for this application? I see no raised hands. All right. Bounce it. Oh,
Right
oh,
there.
look at there. Oh, sorry, Nancy. Hi. A literal raised hand. Yes.
I just want to point out that some of the pages that were presented by Mr. Calabro indicated the Historical Commission. And
thank you.
I just want to get you in the right place.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
District Commission. So that's all. That was a very comprehensive presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Was you all presented before the CHC about your house? What did I miss?
I think there was something included in the pictures
the photos we did, the research was all provided by the Historic Commission, which Nancy, thanks for pointing out. There's actually a lot of great research available for this home. Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Just wanted to make sure you were in the right commission.
There you go. Good.
All right, great.
There's Historical Commission and Historical.
And just the sheer amount of research available, the pictures that you found and the information shows you the importance of the house.
Yeah.
It is a great house. It's true.
Well, you're going to see us a whole bunch because we're popping a whole bunch of money into this thing to try to bring it back to life because it needs some serious love and care. Not changes, but infrastructure wise, like I said, we're moving out for the next 6 weeks and heating and piping and major structural beams all under repair.
Make sure you ask us about the roofing before you do it.
Yeah, we have the last
No, seriously, don't just.
No, that's true. No, thank you.
You must appreciate, Ms. Calabro, it puts us in an awkward position when things have already been done to the house before they've been approved.
We totally understand that. Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's our bad, right? We didn't follow up with the contractor. They said they were installing it. You have a whole bunch going on. You have other projects, so.
And we moved in June, July, and it is there. It's set back off the road. All the trees are full, so it was just
June, July. You can't see the house.
We learned. We understand.
It's a great property, and it's in a great.
It's amazing. The trees are amazing.
You'll be
good.
For
those who are wondering, that is a future wildflower and pollinator garden on the corner of Liberty and Lowell. I know Delia had given me a call and said, "What's those the leaf piles on that corner?"
Oh, that answers the question.
That is a permaculture process, and we're looking to restore the landscape, removing invasives and doing pollinator gardens and trying to bring back the life to the soil, which has been very depleted.
Wow,
Very
very
good.
cool.
It
Yeah,
comes
thank you.
back fast. A couple of years of leaving the leaves.
Yeah, yeah.
It becomes
So
black.
thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, so
Good
let's
night.
see. Wait, we need a motion.
I move we continue the application for 320 Lowell Road till we receive number one, dimension specifications for the mullions on the glass door, and second, approaches to either replace the fixtures installed with dark sky compliant fixtures or modify them so that they're compliant.
And we're okay on color, we're okay on sliding
Yeah,
glass
there are two
door, we're
doors.
okay on the rear door, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Thank you.
have a good night.
Okay, wait, hold on. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, and for a vote, Kristen,
Hi.
Walter,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
I'm an aye to continue your application. So thank you very much. And we will see you on June 17th.
Go.
Thank you.
Thanks
Have
a
a good
lot.
night.
Night. Okay, so moving rapidly forth, we have next, is it Juliana Scardua? Did I pronounce that? Probably. Is our next, oh, Billy Crosby, are you presenting for her? Okay, great. You're still on mute? There
Hi.
we go. Hello.
Yes, for Juliana,
Great.
for this Sally Ann Fruit Shop. So this is a do you have any of the pictures? Do you have pictures for it?
Not
Yes,
you
I can bring them up.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay.
It's the same picture from two sides, so either one of them would work. So the Sally Ann Food Shop bracket was having some problems, and that's an original sign from Tom Kennedy, probably 25 years old, mahogany blank. And when she got it, she wanted to, her business card looks exactly like this new design, but I actually used the original blank. So it's everything exactly the same, except for in one of the pictures, I have an older picture of it, the bread and the coffee cup on both sides was made out of foam and attached to the mahogany, and it had rotted. So both of those were down for probably 2 or 3 years. And then so, I told her, I said, I have the original sign, we could just replace it. And then she has a business card that is these colors with the exact original design from probably Tom Kennedy, gave her that design. So it's basically a repair, exactly the same size. And we want to do a couple things to the bracket just to secure it a little bit better. And the only thing I changed from her business card, I gave her a couple of different designs. The bread was white as the coffee cup, and then I said this one's coming in a little hot, but it's I have a sample of. This is a 3D version of the piece that was. It's just I matched what the scraps left of it. So it's just I tried to make this one look a little bit more. A white coffee cup and a white loaf of bread didn't look very good, so I added a little color to that.
We need to update that too. I mean, white bread, come on. Like
So it's really there's no other change, but it actually started coming down, and then so was hanging down, and then I got a call, and then so we went and took it down, and then just and then rebuilt it. The blank was in great shape. It was just where the bolts were over time. It was more the threads of the bolts actually rotted, and one side, it came out. So I just I just redid the top and went into fresh bolts and then re-drilled different holes. And then we still have a little bit of work to do with the bracket, but the bracket's still up there.
So it's essentially a replacement in kind, right?
Yeah, it sort of was. I was almost going to come to the meeting saying, do I need to do anything? But there is a color change. So that's why I sent the drawings for that. And then, and like I say, I was going to ask her, do you like the old colors? I always thought the old colors were a lot of colors going on. There's kind of a maroon and a green. And then she had a simpler version of it on her business card. And then she goes, well, can we make it like that? And I said, well, I'll ask the HDC, but I think it's a little easier on the eyes than the original one was anyway. But yeah, I rebuilt the bottom two pieces. I just took them off, but the exact same pieces. I put them in the exact same spot. And then the top letters are actually carved in by hand because it was such an old sign. We usually do them with a CNC router, but so Tommy's in Sweden, and then so I told him his sign's gonna hopefully be back up and then in good shape. So because he doesn't have too many left here. So
Will the bracket change at all?
no, the bracket's the same, but I want to take the bracket down before we put it back up, and just to it bent a couple of like one of the tongs on the side. When it moved, it bent it. So I want to add another 1/8 inch band to the top of it just for a little extra strength, and then just check the welds on it, and it pivots, so it does swing in the breeze, which is actually a good thing. And then we'll just remount it. And we might want to remount it an inch or two left or right, or an inch or two up and down, just so I can go into fresh holes in the mortar. But it basically it's a heavy bracket, and it's really it's pretty. It was there for a long time. I think it was there before Sally Ann's. I mean, I don't know how long Sally Ann's been there forever. So, but it's a nice old bracket, and I'm just going to shore it up a little bit.
Very elegant looking.
Yeah, it's kind of classic, and then it was kind of it was there forever too. So it's almost like something coming back from history. So I always liked the sign, even though I didn't do it.
Yeah, sort of glorious like your fish there, Bill.
Yeah.
I'm going to open a fish store.
Ready. All right, let's see. Any other questions before I open it up to public comment?
Oh, and I wanted to apologize because I apparently dusted you last month, and I was away. And then when I was away, Maureen got the meeting came, and then she missed it. So there was nobody here. I was in Spain. So I apologize for that because I haven't missed a meeting in a long time. So
you may get the frequent meeting award.
Yeah,
yes, I was hoping to get it, but I just blew it. So
we were a little worried. Was that the meeting?
Lost it now.
Was that wacky meeting where? Yeah, I think it was where like nobody could get through. Do you remember that? Like it was.
No, but if I knew that, I would have used that as an excuse.
Yeah, it was a very odd meeting, so it's just as well. All right, let's see if there is any public comment or questions about the new Sally Ann sign. That is so charming. Okay, I don't see any raised hands. I overlooked Nancy the last time. I'm not going to make that mistake. Okay, I think we are all set. If no one on the commission has any more questions, could we have a motion, please?
I move we approve the sign bracket repair and sign modernization as submitted for 73 Main Street.
Thank you, Bill. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Jeff. And I'll go around for a vote. Walter?
Aye.
And Bill?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Kristen?
Aye.
And I am an aye. How soon will it go up, Billy?
I've got a little bit more work to do, and I'm going to take the bracket down. So it's probably going to be, hopefully 3 or 4 weeks. And then we have to get the permit for it too. I assume I have to, get the permit for it again. So, and it clears the height and everything should be good on it. So, yeah.
Well, we'll keep our eyes peeled.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. I was going to say, I did mess up one other time about 25 years ago. Do you want to hear the story, or do you want to go to your next one?
We better go to our next one.
All right, I'll save it for you when I see you in private. All right.
The next time you mess up, you can tell us.
Yeah, exactly. You might want to bundle them together.
Yeah.
All right.
Got Joanna
All right,
waiting.
thanks, guys.
We should keep moving.
Appreciate
Okay,
it.
thank you. Yeah, we've got
Bye-bye.
Thank
move
you.
on to
83 Monument, Joanna and Joel are back. Let's see. Hello. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming back.
Yeah, thank you. Nice to be back. Appreciate the chance to come back, and thank you guys for all the time, all you're doing. I know I've sat in those shoes or those seats, so I really appreciate just listening to all the previous people, and so really appreciate this chance to kind of come back and talk a little bit more about 83 Monument. And for a little context, just as a reminder, the commission approved our application for the restoration of 83 Monument and the two-story addition at the 2 meetings ago, with the exception of the windows, which we asked if we could take that part off and kind of do a little bit more exploration into what that would entail. And you all requested that we look into the front, the 6 windows in the front, and whether or not, look into preserving and restoring the existing windows. We had a window restoration person come out to the house from Cleary and Sons, probably know of them because they've done a lot of work in Concord. At that visit, he could not confirm whether or not the windows are original to the house. He stated that the windows have dry rot and some rotting wood, and the wood in particular is deteriorated to a point that pretty much all new wood would be needed to rebuild the windows and be likely for the restoration. And I think I mentioned last time, just want to remind you that they've been nailed shut and painted several times and caulked over, and they're extremely fragile. And probably some of that was done to preserve the deterioration, to keep the windows, whole. And he also said that the restoration would likely need extensive rebuilding of the assemblies, including like weights and balances, weather stripping. He gave a quote, which I know that the money is not a purview for you, but just as a piece of information, this also was informative to us because it's quite high. The 6 windows would be about $31,000 to restore. Just by comparison, the Anderson 400 wood windows that we've been approved for the rest of the house installed are closer to 1,200, which for each window, that's $7,000 for the 6 openings. So the restoration plus storm, starts to approach $24,000 for those 6 front windows. So tonight we really want to ask permission to replace those 6 front windows with the Anderson wood series that we've proposed and have been approved on the rest of the house. We understand and really do respect the wish to preserve original material, but this is going to be a challenge cost-wise, as well as how much that these actual windows are in the end preserved as old windows. Likely just the glass, which I know is appealing. And then we'll need storms. And then additionally, I would ask, or we ask really respectfully, for the same kind of consideration that's been given to some other prominent, historic properties in Concord that were approved. And the language approved the renovation of the existing building in kind and included replacement windows. Then as a reminder, these would match the windows in terms of the size, mullion, massing, all that. These houses, I don't know if I can share my screen. Is that possible? If I try to share?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have any trouble.
Just to so that we can let's see. 'Hopefully. Oh, it might not let me. Just because I want to be clear about what the houses are that I was gonna. Was going to refer to if possible. If this doesn't work, we'll go with addresses, but here they are. These are some that, and in addition, I did look at these houses when they were on the market, and so the similar condition in some cases. This house is the house that's now part of the library, and the same window that has been replaced in kind that we're proposing, I believe. They might be Marvin's, but that's okay if we have to go to Marvin's, but they're the same 6/6.
Hey, Joanna.
Yeah.
I apologize for interrupting. Just a quick question. The Anderson 400, are they a clad window?
I believe they're a wood window. Joel, you can check.
Exterior wood?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to be sure that's if we go in that direction, that it's not a clad window, it's a painted wood window.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
Okay.
And that Joel, I think, is on, and that's the description of it, right? So wood.
Right, a wood window. It's Anderson Woodwright windows.
Okay. I thought 400s only came in clad, but this is not a 400.
Yeah, Woodwright window. We have the information on them.
Okay.
But I agree. Yes, they are wood. That was the intention, was to have a wood window. I happened to notice that there's a Marvin version, so that's why I brought it up. But our intention is, yes, it's just that the cut sheet has it as a wood window. Anyway, 325 Main Street here is another one that has the barn in the back, which again, I'm showing you what I think are absolutely lovely restorations. So hopefully you agree. And these were replaced instead of restored. One Sudbury, again, I did look at that. That was quite a house before it was restored. I actually think, I don't know if you guys know this, but barn animals did live in that house with the woman who lived there forever before this was bought by the people who now own it. She had a fire or something when I was first dating John, but they had some animals in there. But anyway, so those windows have all, were approved to be replaced. And this is across the street, 50 Monument Street. So again, that's just, let me stop sharing, but it's a few examples of houses that have been able to do that, or have been approved to do the replacement. And so we just ask, for the same consideration, ideally. And again, we're very, very aware of our role as custodians of the house and trying to be sure it's really true to restoring it as it was. And ideally, it will look beautiful and people might actually even notice it. I don't think many people notice that house right now.
No, it's at 325 Main. It was in bad shape, but I don't think it was that even as bad as some of the stuff you're dealing with on 83 Monument, to be honest. So it's a good example. Okay, so were you still speaking, Joanna?
No, I think I've said enough. I appreciate any questions and comments.
Yeah. And also the other thing, you were kind of just reminding us of what we needed to kind of go back to. The other thing was a more detailed grip on the driveway and parking situation.
Yeah. I'm aware that we have to do that. I didn't know if that was part of the full, I thought I was doing, the windows are that application, and my understanding is when we have a landscape plan, we'd come back and confirm with you that's a go.
Oh, okay. All right. I, to be honest, I wasn't entirely sure. So
yeah, I think it was more the screening for a parking spot up in the front of the house that we would come back and share. But we haven't really done that yet.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. I didn't know if you had that up for tonight, so that's fine. So
could we see the cut sheets just so the record is clear about exactly what's being installed?
I'm hopeful Anne can do that.
All right.
It was Marvin for that library building. I remember that. I can't remember the others, but obviously we approve Anderson also.
Yeah, I can try and pull it up if
I
Anne
think I've
can't.
got it. I think I've got
Okay,
it.
thank you.
It's the same that you had submitted a while back, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, here it is.
So I
Can
just
you,
want to be
can you
sure.
enlarge it so we can see the print, Ann? It's a little. Thank you.
I thought these were clad. So
Well, it's a wood built window.
it's a wood window, but it's a clad exterior.
Right. I've used basically all Anderson 400s and everything, and they're always clad, the vinyl clad.
I think it's a metal clad.
These are metal clad?
You have to zoom in a little bit further.
It'll be hard. You can't really tell
That's
from
why
the
usually
picture.
Marvin is the go-to because they just make a typical wood window. I have them in my house in a historic district, and they take paint grade and
Yeah.
I apologize because I thought these were wood. And I do have what was approved, the Marvin window that was approved, I think, if you give me one sec to look it up for the houses I was showing. Because obviously
we did go over these windows too in the past, and they were already approved for this house.
The mullion size is nice on these, though. They're thinner, just like the older windows. I don't know if the Marvins have gotten better, but they used to be kind of fat, the wood ones.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to find it. I apologize. Because I agree they should be thin, like the old. I like that better for what it matches.
And these Wood-Rite windows have been approved by you guys in the past, I believe.
yeah, so it sort of depends on
Where?
it depends on where it is and how visible. But it says, I'm just reading out of the guidelines. Vinyl, aluminum, or metal replacement sash, including metal clad or vinyl clad windows, are generally not appropriate within historic districts and strongly discouraged. So, just
I'll have to take a look at them again. I believe they're Wood-Rite windows, so like the interior is all wood. It is a wood window that is clad on exterior to keep it from rotting.
Right. So it's a wood structurally, it's a wood frame window. I'm just saying the exterior, which is what I'm talking about, is again, we approved Marvin. Marvin is different, we approve simulated divided lights when appropriate because we have to, it's insulating glass. But the preferred window is a non-clad window.
Yeah, we wouldn't be opposed to switching to the Marvins. They're similar price. It was honestly approved already. We had already discussed this, but it's not a problem.
Well, that was
the front of the house.
If you're doing the front and restoring the
Right.
so we have approved clad when they're back away from the house from the street, which is why we were amenable to saying, okay, the rear of the house, we're really focusing on the front. Now we're saying if you've done research on whether you can make these windows work, which we greatly appreciate, and we're hearing it's tough. So then the question is, what do we ask them to do, the applicants consider for the historic front part? And I would think once you make a decision on if it's all new windows, I would think you'd want to make them all the same. Just I would think.
Yeah.
So would you consider just making them all wood painted Marvin windows throughout as an option so that they all look the same? And we're not saying, okay, make it all clad, but go the reverse direction of making it all wood painted windows. If you follow
Yes.
my
I
route.
totally follow you. I'm trying to find the actual Marvin window, but we could obviously come back with that if that's
Yeah,
because I want to be sure
pretty,
it looks right.
yeah, they have a very nice frame and profile, and
Yeah, this is on Main Street was Marvin's Signature Collection.
Yeah.
Ultimate double hung window.
Yeah, the Marvin Ultimates are that's generally always been readily approved.
Joanna, 325 Main or the library edition?
Oh, that's, I'm sorry, that's 1 Sudbury where I'm reading that from.
Okay. All right.
325 was,
I mean, it's
what's that?
because those actually did have a nice thin.
Yeah, I
font.
agree.
So I'd be interested if those were Marvin. I don't remember.
I will get it. Apologize for not having it readily available. Here's 325 Main. This is the certificate of appropriateness, doesn't have the,
No, and I can sift through myself later too. You don't have to do that.
well, I don't want to waste your time. You guys spend a lot of time doing this. But if I had readily been able to pick it up, I would want to for you. Okay, 325 Main, here it is. Where are the windows? Replace one is Marvin Ultimate. Oh, aluminum clad wood windows. That's what this one is. In this certificate of appropriateness. Marvin Ultimate aluminum clad wood windows.
Is that colonial aluminum that they used?
Is that a real question?
No, no, just trying to
Yeah, I thought it-
18th century.
make you laugh.
I thought it was some kind of new line they had. I was like, oh,
I was like, there's
It's mined. It's mined from an ancient aluminum mine. Yeah,
yeah.
That's all
all
one
revered.
word. It's all one word, colonial aluminum.
Got it.
Yeah, Revere cast it.
Okay. Well, Tim, thoughts on that?
Well, so I guess the question is, would you consider a Marvin Wood Ultimate window, painted window?
Yeah. I just want to be sure we get the right one.
And this, and I, I haven't heard from the rest of the commission. I mean, we asked applicants to take the necessary steps to see if windows can be replaced. They've done that, and they're basically saying, yes, they can, but at great expense, which I appreciate, not technically, it's like, so, I'm personally willing to move on from that rather than keep forcing these 6 windows down their throat, which would have to have storms on them. But I would also, like to see, which sounds like Joanna's amenable to just making the whole house uniform painted wood windows if we're going to go that direction.
I
think
think
that makes sense.
that's the enlightened compromise, and sounds like it's cost effective as well.
It's true. We haven't said much, Tim, because you're doing such a good job saying it that, just letting you have it. But, it's, I mean, the 6 windows, I was in front of that house today. They look great. I was sort of thinking, it'd be nice if they could be saved. But even before this happened, I mean, Joel and Joanna, you sort of gave us a lowdown of just, what bad shape they were in.
I mean, if the
Yep.
wood is rotten, it's just
Yeah.
not worth doing. That's
Right.
not that's too much of an ask, and
Yeah.
the end product's not going to be great anyway.
Right.
We
Right.
looked at those on the site visit. And I could see they, you start working those, they turn to dust probably.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
And it's odd that we'd be focusing on just the front and not the sides. So the front would have storms and the sides would
Yep.
be new and not. That's
Yep.
an odd mix,
It's
It's like, so.
okay.
But we had to, and thank you for indulging us, but that is,
Yeah, we try to save them.
yeah, we kind of need to know, at least for the record, that we looked into it. So any other questions?
I guess my question is a procedural one. Can we approve it subject to confirmation of the spec by Anne?
Yes, we can. I think if she's comfortable with that, or if the rest of the commission's comfortable with that, or Anne can have Tim run over and take a look at it to boot.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a wood non-clad ultimate Marvin window. And Joanne and Joel, you'll have to submit the mullion, they have different size mullions for those simulated divided lights, and
Yep.
just pick the narrowest one they've got.
Sure.
Any other concerns with that kind, Tim, about what's the actual opening, the sort of
Well, you're going to be yanking out the window and the frame. Correct. This isn't you're not, I don't want to speak. That's a question. Are you taking, if we're not preserving the existing window, is it the idea that the entire window and frame comes out and you put an entire new window and frame in the rough opening?
Yes.
That is the same size.
So you get the same size window with it very close to the same size glass, not a shrinking, where a frame goes inside a frame.
I would say, if anything, it would be getting a little bigger.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, you'd be very close to matching, what's there now. It doesn't have to be precise, but
Yes, I agree with you.
okay.
Definitely.
All right. Let me see if there are any questions from the public. Perhaps any.
I
Oh yeah.
I just want to be clear on the site, what Joanna said. So that's all the planting plan and patio design, and there was a question on the small retaining wall on the north side, and that's all a later date submission.
My understanding was everything that we submitted that you have, which included the walls, all the hardscape, no detail of plantings, was approved, and including the house and all that stuff. The last meeting, except for the windows, and a request or requirement to come back with what the screening would be for this particular spot where you can pull in a car, and that it's screened from the road so you can't see it.
Oh yeah.
Following that, so I was looking at the patio, for instance, the patio plan. There's that sort of the detail of where I couldn't tell where the fence and the gate and all that was looking at. I don't know if that was ever described in detail.
Well, the materials, the gate and the what it would look like was in the application, and then there was, right. It's just what's on the plan.
Yeah, but I couldn't tell looking at the plan where the fence is. So
there is an elevation on the plans. It's the right side elevation that does show the fence.
I'm talking about where's the fence and plan, and where's the gate. So if you want to come back and we discuss this at a later date, that's fine. But I'm just saying that was a level of detail that we didn't get into.
Yeah, well, I have a deeper question, if I may, which is probably to Anne. Do we have documentation for exactly what it was that we approved? Because we're talking speculatively here about what we approved and what we didn't approve, possibly. For example, I don't know that we approved a parking space subject to screening. I think that we hadn't really talked through that in great detail even. That was the last minute part of this. So as a commissioner, I would very much like to see the wording for what we actually did approve, rather than just assuming.
I don't think we did approve that parking space yet. I think that was still subject to
I believe you are correct. The other thing is, in terms of housekeeping, what I have on my agenda includes, demolish garage, screen porch, construct a new 2-story. So were we to approve this as submitted, it's covering all the things that we may or may not already have approved, right?
My understanding, although I've gotten nothing in writing, is that we went through the application, any questions, and you approved, I didn't. The commission approved everything except the windows, and we would come back with the windows.
Well, I know that I'm sorry to interrupt, but I know that the parking space was not approved last time around. We were still talking about it.
That wasn't my understanding.
I'm on, believe it or not, I'm on your side.
No, I'm just saying what I thought happened.
Clear.
I appreciate it, but because we haven't gotten the certificate of appropriateness, I can't be sure.
Right, and because we don't have it in front of us, we can't be sure what we had actually approved. So I think that we should establish clarity there for everybody's benefit.
I think the really the only thing in question is the parking space, and did we think that was coming back as part of the planting details or that sort of thing? So but I don't think there's any question about what else might have been approved or not approved. Is there? There was something about a retaining wall, I guess, that you said you may or may not.
There was a question, I think, Joel, you said the north retaining wall, you might keep it or might get rid of it.
I did get rid of it, and I did update the plot plan with it removed.
Yeah, I mean, so that I'm just trying to think of any other sort of potential questions. I thought that the parking spot, the front parking spot, was kind of all part of more of the sort of landscaping screening that would come back, and we'd sort of see where it might be and deliberate that. But I could be mistaken because there was a lot. I mean, it was a big application. It was a long meeting by that point, so I'm not entirely sure either.
So I had prepared staff notes for this and summarized what had happened at the meeting on April 15th.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like me to read through that?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, if everyone's okay with that.
At the April 15th meeting, the HTC approved the revised edition with clapboards and not shingles. The HTC did not approve replacing the windows, and the applicant was asked to return regarding that element specifically. The HTC also had questions about the site plan, such as screening for parking space in front, and the applicant also agreed to return with a planting plan. Regarding the historic portion of the house, the applicant had agreed to preserve as much of the original trim, casings, corner boards, eaves, rakes, etc. The architect agreed, stating that it might be difficult with clapboards and that the shutters would need to be replaced in kind. The contractor offered to focus on preserving the front of the house, reusing the best of the old material from other elevations.
Yeah, we
Okay,
talked
thank
about cannibalizing other windows from the house to go to the front, I think.
Which now is moot. Thank you, Anne. That sort of kind of dovetails with kind of how I remember it. So, does that clarify things for you, Walter?
To a degree, as long as we all understand that the parking was not approved and we were looking for more information about how it could potentially be screened to inform our decision as to whether it should be approved or not. I think that's the crux of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just that the parking being the more one of the major elements that can be isolated as a major element of this.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
Um,
but that still leaves the question of what we would be approving were we to vote on as submitted. Right now, I think we need clarity in what we're voting on potentially this evening as well.
I thought this evening was just the window discussion.
just the window.
Well, but that's not how it's listed as an agenda item.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The motion would be narrower.
Oh, so.
Cross T's and dotted I's.
No, that's good. You're our secretary. So, that's, let's see. Sorry, I'm looking for the agenda. All right, let me, just take a look at this. Okay. To demolish screen porch. Oh, okay. Well, then how would we, looking at the, agenda listing. Just bear with me for a second, Joel and Joanna. How would we incorporate a motion given this agenda entry? Because we did approve a bunch of these things. So procedurally, Bill, got any ideas on procedure here?
I don't. I wasn't in the April meeting, so.
Well, we can, independent of the agenda, we can state, we can modify this in our
Right.
In our motion.
So I guess my memory was was consistent with what Anne read, and that we were asking about screening of the parking as the site request. To study that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say if I may, we wanted to see screening, what the screening was proposed, as proposed, in order to inform our decision as to whether we wished to approve a parking space.
Yeah, I mean, it was made, the point was made in last meeting that, generally we don't approve parking in front lawns. I mean, pretty categorically, we don't.
Mhm.
And even if you look at a bunch of houses, having walked down there, most of them you have to drive down to the back to park. So I'm just making that point, independent of what we or the applicant thinks we approved or not. So I guess my request of just asking Joanna and Joel, it sounds like we can approve the house, the building tonight, and we'll modify it with the Marvin Ultimate double hung windows painted, pending your submission of a cut sheet. So we can get that out of the way and request that, and also we'll be requesting a later submission and approval of a planting plan that will address the screening of, I'm practicing a motion here because I want Joanna and Joel to hear it before we do it. And that addresses the parking, the screening of the parking, but I would agree with Walter that I think we need to discuss whether we want to approve that parking in the front lawn as part of that site discussion. And I'd like to propose that we have that option to consider that at a later date, rather than getting into the squabble of, well, it was approved or not approved, unless the reality is we did raise the question, I think Kate, you raised it, is we just really don't like parking in the front lawn. We fight against it all the time. And so we're asking the applicant to reconsider that particular point. Joanna, you might come back and say, look, here's how the screening works. Here's what it's going to look like. We want to keep it. You make the case for that. That's your choice. But we'd also say, would you please consider removing the parking to be more in keeping with other houses just adjacent to it, because that's our concern.
So I'm happy to come back with, what change we might make or not, or how we would address it once we ourselves sort of, drill down on sort of what were we thinking and how we would do it, and give you a proposal.
Yeah.
That's
Okay. So you can. So we're giving our concerns.
Yeah.
You can decide how you want to come back.
Yeah,
I guess.
that's fair. Yeah, I understand.
So.
I mean, parking.
Okay, does that?
Yeah, no, that's in line with what Joanna opened with, that, they were going to come back with once they sort of have a better sense of what.
But I think Joanna probably rightly assumed that parking was approved from the last meeting. She, as an applicant, the parking was approved. It was just, how do we screen it?
Mm-hmm.
And we're pushing back on that, because that's just it may not be perfectly timely, but that's, I think we're raising the right issue here. So we're asking them to consider that.
Yes. No,
Do
thank
you want
you.
me to try a motion here?
Well, you just practiced. But hold
I
on.
just practiced, so I should have it. So I move that we
Wait. I
approve.
have to get public comment.
Yes.
And
Oh, sorry.
yeah, so keep that in your head. I know you know, but
Lost it already.
hold on. Let's see. Any questions or comments for 83 Monument Street? At present, no. Does that sound sensible to what we've discussed? Sound sensible to you, Joanna and Joel?
Yeah, that's great. We really appreciate that.
That sounds clear to you. Okay, great.
Am I remembering correctly that we're going to wait and hear about the mullions in the windows and the thickness of them? Because there's different options? Or is that like an administrative thing?
We are making that administrative, but if commissioners feel strongly with potentially Tim weighing in or Jeff or
I don't have a problem reviewing administratively with Ann when
me
it
either.
comes in.
Yeah. Is that all right? Oh, Jeff, did you have a question?
That sounds good.
Okay. Kristen, does that answer your
Yeah,
query?
I just want to make that was a loose thread that I didn't want to.
No.
Okay, so I move that we approve the building components of 83 Monument Street with the adjustment that all windows, including for the existing and new building, will be Marvin Ultimate wood painted windows. There will be, sorry?
Non-clad.
Not clad. There will be, and a tear sheet will be submitted along with the simulated divided light mullion size administratively, and that further the applicant will come back and present the site planting plan, which will include studies on screening or reconsidering the location of the front two-car parking spaces, or front parking spaces. I don't think it's necessarily two cars, but front parking spaces.
Excellent.
Joanna, Joel, you okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, Ann Clifford, Ann, you have your hand up?
Yes, I'm just wondering if you're actually proposing a continuance for part of that, or would it be easier
Yes,
to do a
sorry, it's a
withdrawal?
continuance for the site plan components, the landscaping and consideration of that parking area in the front lawn.
But not the windows, which will be done administratively.
The windows have been approved, so it's approval / continuance.
Is that all right though for the applicant because is there enough allowance for that since this is already their second or third visit? Right? If we continue.
Right, it might be better to do a partial withdrawal of the parking piece and then submit that separately as a new application, if that works for you, depending on how much time you need.
Yeah, I mean, I would, for second continuance, I wouldn't then want Joanna and Joel to then sort of have to wrap everything up in one meeting, much as they would like to, and we would too. I just, if they needed another continuance, they'd be out of them, I think, if we didn't do a partial withdrawal, right?
So you're saying partial withdrawal on the site that they'd resubmit as a new application for planting and this parking?
Yes. And does that sound right? They don't have to. Joanna, you don't have to, but it's just there's only so many continuances on an application. And so
So if I understand it, we would withdraw the landscape plan and that would be a separate application in the future.
Yep. And then it's, I
For
mean,
resubmission when you're ready.
Yeah. Okay.
again, you don't have to, it just gives you potentially more time or options or whatever else, just,
Yeah,
that's,
that's great. Yeah, I understand.
My only
that was-
question,
there's no-
would be if it's just the front area, it's just that front landscaping
Mhm.
and proposed parking.
it should, be, I mean, we would both like it to be, completed and wrapped up, but I just, if we continued this, it is part of this application, I just wouldn't want to sort of run out of time, so to speak. I think the only downside of doing it this way is I think you have to pay an additional application fee, for which I apologize. Because, right, and they would have to pay a new application fee, which is, $25, and then, yeah. So that's your choice.
So yeah, we withdraw the
withdraw,
landscape
okay.
of the front of the
Okay.
driveway and parking spot landscape plan to come back either
Okay.
to make a case for it or have it not exist.
Okay,
Well,
great.
my sorry, Joanna, but my one thing would be like the driveway was already submitted and approved. It's really just the parking space and the front landscaping.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yes, because like some of the landscaping has to be done with the construction of the house, meaning the front, retaining wall, the driveway, that kind of thing was already approved. So I just want to be sure.
You want to be able to build.
I do, yes.
We want to get started.
Yeah, no,
The
no, no.
parking spot, the bushes in the front, not a big deal
The
whatsoever.
bushes but the bushes in the parking pad basically are the thing.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
okay, so that will get withdrawn. Separate little application, then gives you all the time you ideally won't need to either, continue yourselves or we continue or whatever. But I just think it's it's a better buffer.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to complicate the motion for Tim. And
Want to do this again?
Tim, do you have to say it all over?
you get it all over,
All
Tim.
right.
I think
and
someone
got
just
rid
has to say, you just say so moved.
Yeah.
Second.
I think I better do it again just for clarity here.
Yeah.
So I move that we
And
approve.
Tim, before you get going, do we need to vote on allowing the withdrawal of part of
don't
this? Sorry.
No, that's good. Let's see. Hold on. Do you have to vote on a partial?
Well, let's just, if we're questioning it, we should do it.
We should vote on removing that landscaping. That'll make your job easier here, Tim.
Okay. Thank you, Walter.
How about I move that we remove the component of the potential parking space in front of the property and associated landscape screening from consideration.
Can you modify that to front planting plan, including screening? So we're looking at it holistically and not just screening at the front.
I think you just did, whatever you said.
Walter, you have to say it. You're making the motion.
Okay, I move that we allow the removal of the withdrawal of the portion of the application pertaining to the potential parking space in the front of the property and Tim and Lance
all associated planting in the front of the property.
and all associated planting in the front of the property. That's what I had said, but that's what I'm saying now. Yes.
And may I have a second? Thank you, Louis. I'm going to go around for a vote for withdrawing this part from the Boynton application. Kristen,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Walter,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. So we are removing that part for us to be resubmitted as its own application. Now back to Tim for a motion for the matter at hand tonight on the windows and the.
Okay, so I move that we approve the building components of 83 Monument Street with the understanding that all windows in the existing and new addition will be ultimate double hung Marvin windows to be submitted administratively along with mullion size and width. And this approval includes all components of the site, excepting the parking area in the front lawn area and the associated front lawn landscaping, which has been withdrawn and will be resubmitted as a new project at a later date.
.com.
Crushed it. Do I have a second for Tim?
Second.
Thank you, Bill. Going to go around for a vote. Kristen,
Aye.
Walter,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
and I am an aye. So, thank you, Joanna and Joel. Your business before the HDC for this evening, anyway, is concluded. Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel like I just ran a race or something. I'm exhausted.
I don't know. I don't know what just happened, but I think we got it. I think we
Well,
covered it. So,
thank you all very much.
okay,
you.
great.
Thank
Look
you.
forward to seeing you back.
Thanks
Okay.
for all the hard work.
Yes, thanks. Good night.
Good night.
Okay, so now on to other business, I believe. And we have some, we'll be interacting with our Concord Historical Commission cousins tonight, I think, for the rest of the evening. Yeah. Who presents the first thing? You, Ann?
Beautiful. Do you guys ever have any easy
Oh, there you
meetings?
are, Doug. Look at you.
Yeah,
That was an easy meeting.
that was an easy meeting. Yeah, I've been
That was an
on the
easy
agenda for the last two, and I look at them and like, no, there's going to be like 10:30 by the time you get to us. So I've always put it off. I'm very happy to see my cohorts also here. Lauren is here. Nancy Nelson looks like still here. Melissa Sawfield is here.
All right.
Nancy Purcell Lee is still here. So I got to tell you first, this thing has been a labor of love. This thing's been like 2 years more than in the making. And we're so happy to finally have something to share with everyone. So let me, without further ado, not belabor it anymore.
Doug, you have a nifty photograph in the plan, like some drone shot over Monument Square with
Oh
your
yeah.
side hobby.
Yeah, it's fun.
Hmm.
It's fun every now and then, just to get the good shots. So one of the great and the vision, in Concord preservation is retrospective and forward-looking, centered on people and the environment, fully integrated into community plans and practices. I think that's so important. It's part of the vision of what we're doing, because so many things that this town touches, as you know, are all integrated one into the next. So we wanted to make sure we got that. So quick overview. And, for the select board members who are still online and listening, this is going to look extremely similar to what you'll get on Monday. So why now? It's the 250th coming up, just passed. First plan in 30 years, multi-year guide we want to have a multi-year guide for us to follow for the next coming years. And we've had over 1,000 participants, both through interviews, surveys, focus groups, public sessions, public comments, chime in on this. So we've got lots and lots and lots of feedback. So kind of the key findings that we've got is our power of place extends beyond the buildings, and it goes to the cultural landscapes. Top concerns that we're hearing: gentrification, climate change, housing affordability, overdevelopment, and of course, MCI Concord. So the full vision statement, the first page was just the teaser, but as a place of experimentation and innovation, which it has always been, Concord supports sensitive development that preserves and enhances the town's multifaceted past. As a place of national and local memory, Concord recognizes its power to provoke thought, provide historical perspective, and inspire action in timeless and social environmental ways. And excuse me while my dog is being a total brat behind me. Yeah, I'm not paying attention to her, so it's time to peel back the rug. So kind of a plan overview. So the core values: inclusive, partnership, participation, and partnership, inclusive cultural heritage, telling the untold stories. We heard that from a lot of folks. Vitals, the centers are so important as public spaces. Cultural landscapes, housing choice and affordability, mobility and access, and of course sustainability again. And the challenges that we've got, which I think we're all seeing. I think all of you are all too familiar. So we've got MCI Concord, which is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I don't think anyone would challenge that. Hanscom, it's ongoing. Every now and then it rears its ugly head, and we have to keep on top of that. Route 2 has been 2A. We hear of development plans coming on and off, and that's a very, very sensitive corridor, as we all well know. MBTA communities, ADUs by right, and so an opportunity for historic reuse of some like barns, for example, and climate legislation and how it impacts all of us.
Can I ask what that last point means? Climate legislation for historic district reviews. I don't
Climate
know.
legislation. Well, I can let my cohorts chime in, but we've got a lot of things coming up for like solar panels, and is there anything else, like Lauren? Is there anything you would want to chime in on that?
It's a kind of a general reference to I maybe Ann knows the exact statute, but there was some fairly recent legislation about the importance of sustainability improvements in historic districts, local historic districts.
Okay.
So was there something else?
No, sorry.
No. So the highest recommendations is number one, public education and appreciation. We want to develop a robust communications program, including website, updating the website, any kind of hard copy materials we might need as well. Documentation, really document well what we have, the current state, MCI Concord, the Thoreau Depot, Hubbard Street. We heard loud and clear town meeting and after the feedback that we've got. That's a very well organized group that is very vocal, and they're very concerned with what's going on in their neighborhood. We want to inventory the town-owned land and structures, so we know what we've got. So if we're talking about reuse, we're doing it thoughtfully and historic, respecting the past that we've got. Planning and land use. So zoning review, the one thing that we say very often is you get what you zone for. And if you look at what's happened in West Concord, it just kind of you want to cry. Just the tearing out 5 acres of wooded, beautiful land, to just absolutely strip it down. It just warrants a time to let's look at our zoning. Is there something there that can be done? I'll just leave it there on that. Strengthen demolition review. Give it a little bit more teeth, and we got a lot of feedback too on what else can we do, and instead of just slapping on a delay, is there something else, another process? Coordination with other town departments like housing. Or some of these houses might be candidates for the town to even possibly buy them for low income. If they can be maintained to a suitable level. And updating the HDC design guidelines. So that's something we're seeing with the signs are coming up a lot. So there's a lot of things there that might be good collaboration. And operations, update HDC, CHC administrative codes, and realign the senior planner role. So also known as Anne. So Anne's being stretched in so many different directions. Is there a better way to structure her work or maybe peel off some of it so that she can really focus in on what she needs to do because she's got a whole lot on her plate. So community feedback that we've got within the last couple of months, I've been taking this out on the road, so to speak. Folks like you haven't gotten your feedback yet, but this is kind of typical of what we've been getting. You know, we're getting strong support for you know, comprehensive. I gotta say, I mean, I do really feel that it is very comprehensive. We've gone through and we've looked at the background and how we've got here and what we've got, and it's after 2 years, we put a lot of work into it. The walkability, the expanding the untold stories, people have given us lots of really good feedback on that. All the great things that the visitor center's been doing. Sustainability and adaptive reuse of historic structures. People are very positive about that. Coordination with other town plans, just seeing what other town plans have done, and focus on collaboration. Some of the concerns that we're getting is something like the articles that we've gotten on increasing public density. So these are not so, you know, I'm not saying that these are things that we need to address or things that we need to do. These are concerns. I just think we just need to hear what people are concerned with. So when we're doing things, we're addressing the actual concerns and the perception. We make sure that we get that right. State housing legislation, development pressure may outpace the preservation tools that we've got. Budget realism, just staffing. People just don't think that with the staffing environment. So this is one that you know, Anne can explain a little bit more, because this isn't necessarily something that's necessarily a negative impact on the budget, because there's some things that could be realigned. And continued challenge to explain the benefits of historic preservation related to economic development. So there's a natural conflict, I think, sometimes between economic development and historic preservation. Some people don't understand, I think. I think this group clearly understands that Concord is Concord because of what we've preserved over so many years. The people that come to Concord, the visitors that we get in Concord, are here because of the preservation. They don't necessarily, they see some of that for the major historical pieces, but other pieces about like living in Concord. If you take West Concord, for example, and if you start knocking down all of the nice, small, more affordable, I can't even say affordable in Concord, but more affordable, and start building bigger and bigger, more dense properties, what's that going to do? What's that going to do to really to the feel of Concord? So that's kind of what we've heard so far. So what do we got next? So we got to take all this feedback. We're in the process of integrating it into the plan that we've got, that we've already drafted. We are presenting to the select board next week, be looking for them to encourage and support implementation with our partners, and provide their leadership for whenever they hear of opportunities for collaboration to keep this in mind. We will be asking the select board to endorse the final presentation when it's completed. And then lastly, I've got a link here. So for you folks, what I'd love, if you haven't already, if you can review that, there is a link there to provide your feedback if you haven't done so already. I know you guys have been part of the process. I don't know that everybody has reviewed what we've done and provided any feedback, but love to have your comments. That is it.
Wow, thank you, Doug. I was flipping through it again today and I thought, how's he gonna, synopsize this in 5 minutes? But
well, we've got a great team. Let me just tell you, we got a great team. And we've spent a lot of time coming together, really thinking of, what are the key messages that we've got in here.
Covered a lot of ground.
we can't always, it's hard to get a 100-page plan in just a handful of minutes.
Mm.
Doug,
No.
are you able to email us that presentation?
Of course.
That'd be great. And then we could click on that link that we can't click
Yep.
on now.
Well, I mean, if you go to the Historical Commission webpage, the link is right there.
Right, it's on the Historic Commission's website.
Oh, okay.
Any questions for any of us?
Are
I
you
don't.
open to praise? That's a question.
Open to what?
Praise?
Praise?
That's a question. I assume the answer is yes, and say thank you. It's
Sure.
informative and well done.
I think you've captured a lot of the murmurs that you hear throughout town
Yeah.
that are the issues that going back even to like the Thoreau district and
Right.
our Depot district.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and some people, I mean, I think they're very well organized, but sometimes I think they make it the wrong idea of what it is and what it
Or
isn't.
even like
It is
there's a certain developer we all know here in
Yeah.
town buying up property, demolishing, building these properties that go to
Right.
the limits of the property line.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, no, it's really pretty. Yeah, I definitely encourage anyone to flip through it if you haven't seen it in a while, because there's a lot more added to it recently in terms of, well, at least since I looked at it several months ago, kind of photographs and charts and graphs and things like that. So it's quite comprehensive, very impressive.
And a big appendix. The 100 pages is kind of the meat of the plan with its recommendations and an action plan that talks about, that's has many more recommendations than the high priority items that Doug mentioned, but also really talks about how we might approach trying to accomplish some of these. And then the appendix has a lot of background information, definitions, and a summary of the survey comments, which were pretty interesting from the community.
Yeah.
Lauren,
Great.
what are you growing in that dish behind your head?
It's a sensitive fern.
Ah, I thought it was a fern, but I couldn't tell.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that with us and for taking on all that work for our community. Were you all also going to talk, was CHC talking about the historic marker program? Any changes to that? We have something like that on our agenda.
Yes, I was going to talk about that, but there's actually one other person here, Sven Olsen, who wanted to do an informal session just to introduce to you what he's proposing for an addition to his house at 441 Main Street. And since I'll be here for the duration, maybe he could go before.
Okay.
The historical commission plan. Okay, bye.
Okay. All right. Well then, all right. So we'll say thank you and good night to Doug, for bringing that before us. I guess we've got an informal prospect to listen to next. Nancy, did you have a question? No?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I had no phone call.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. All right. Okay, great.
Sorry. My husband.
All right. Good night then.
All right. Thanks a lot, Doug.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Care. Good night. Okay. Sven. All right. That's why you're on here. Okay. Let's see. Where'd you go? There you are. All right. You've got something you'd like to show us? Oh, you're on mute.
Oh, me too.
You're still muted, Sven. Um, is that his own mute, or do you have him muted in?
Still muted.
I don't have him muted.
Is
there
that, can you hear me?
Yes.
Now we can.
Okay, so sorry about that. So I'm going to turn one volume down. I'm sensitive to the fact that it's late in the meeting, so I'll try to be brief in summary. We're proposing, so am I approaching this that none of you have heard or seen any about this project?
That's correct.
Okay, so the property in question is at 441 Main Street, which is a small yellow house in disrepair that backs up to the railroad tracks just before the river as you head west on Route 62 Main Street. So it's the last residential house on the left that backs up to the tracks on Main Street. It's yellow, and then there's a 3-car garage that immediately follows it that is not part of our property. For context, so I'm in a catch-22 between HDC and the Zoning Board of Appeals. There's things, we recognize that this house is detrimental to its potential contribution to the historic district. We want to try to bring some of that back. In the state filing, it notes that there used to be a front porch on the house that wraps around to the left, and that addition would encroach on the front setbacks and trigger ZBA approval. We're willing to put that porch back on the house. I've traced historic records with the library that shows the sort of visual overhead of it, and there's reference to it in the state documents. And so I feel that it would, bringing it back to its original look would be, and it would also break the facade. The state write-up of the house notes that the front facade is sort of broken and, you know, stark. So I guess I'm asking for your appetite and how that works with ZBA about encroaching on a front setback to restore something that was historically significant, or I won't say significant, but was pertinent. Or
Right.
A
And
quick
do you have
question. You're referring to the Macros reports as the state document?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
The HDC doesn't really consider setbacks. The zoning is completely different from the HDC review, but I know that the application you had started to put together included 2 very different options, and one was, you know, if you got approval from zoning, and the other was sort of sticking with the existing setbacks. And I just wanted to let you know, and I think I did in writing, that the HDC can't review 2 different options. So you'll have to
Understood.
choose
So
one.
We also
from a sort of,
don't-
go ahead.
Sven, I think you were asking does HDC have an ability to override a zoning requirement if the project in question returns a house to its earlier state? Was that what
No,
you
I
were?
realize that you don't override them legally, but I guess I'm asking for the
Yeah.
board's support in returning the house to a state. And so if I apply to the ZBA, I would, I guess, respectfully ask for your support in that application that, hey, yeah, we think this is good. I realize the ZBA can do whatever they want and the inspector can recommend however he wants. But I guess I felt like having an aesthetic conversation with you all before I went to ZBA would be appropriate, but I don't know.
Right.
Well,
Do you have
it's
a
a
picture?
completely legitimate question to ask whether your case is stronger if
Yeah.
presented with an option that restores historic integrity, and we say we like that. Whether that carries any weight, who knows? But it's certainly a good
We have to
question.
know what that is and what it looks like, and et cetera, et cetera.
Devils in the details.
Yes.
Understood it. So in the renderings and all that, but so, okay. And then at the same time, we want to build an addition on the house that encroaches on the rear setback. And so we have some renderings. Do you guys ever provide sort of design input at an early stage to say, hey, we don't like that, that's massing is too big, or guidance in that way?
We do. It's a careful needle to thread, but we do get that sometimes, usually from bigger projects for exactly that. Like, am I going completely down a wrong road so we do that to
Yeah,
some
I guess
extent.
I'm a Concord resident. I'm trying to do the right thing by this house,
Right.
and in order, it's been mundane, basic rental property. It's currently a two-family. It's got a weird stairway off the back that's falling off. It's been had it all prior to my ownership has been bastardized with vinyl Harvey windows, masonite siding, light fixtures and doors that don't belong. And so I'd love to bring all that back to goodness, but mathematically it doesn't make sense unless one can add to the house a little bit and add a bathroom on the first floor and correct a stairway that's a little bit weird on the inside to make the house a normal marketable single family, because otherwise it's destined to be a rundown two family, as it has been for the last 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 years.
Do you have a picture or a drawing of, in the roughest sense, of what you're talking about?
Yes. And so
help us immensely.
So oh, you can't see how. I'm sorry, I'm not sharing screen, am I? Am I authorized to share screen? I'm logged in as two different people because I'm on my phone and on my computer, but can I just click share screen?
Yes.
And do. Oh no, I'm on the spot technically here. I'll do the entire screen. Okay, is that sharing from your point of view?
Yep.
Yes.
So I will, but this, this is a quick excerpt and the photo of the house from the state Macris report.
Oh, it's the Haggerty Connor house.
Yes. I probably should have opened with that. And so currently, even in this photo, it doesn't show, but it's got 0/0 vinyl white Harvey windows. So right now, my application is stalled because I haven't provided architectural detail on things like the windows and the porches and the colors and all that. And so so my question to you is, should my addition have proper 2/2 wood windows similar to the Marvin ones that you just discussed? I realize that mine would be 2/2, probably not 6/6 because of the architectural style in the addition, and then leave the rest of the house. Do you prefer me to match the addition with Harvey windows that match the rest of the house as it sits now? Or I imagine you'd want the whole house done like as a first choice.
Well, first off, where are you looking at putting the porch?
Oh, sorry. Let me do the render. Let me.
You can just describe
it. Do you guys have do you have the submittal or?
Oh, if you just put the picture of the house up again.
Okay, sorry. I'll bring it up. I have it. Here it is. Is that showing?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so this is existing conditions. The photo on the left is the left side of the house, the east side, and then there's a 3/4 view from the left front, and then the right side, the west side on the right. Locus map. So my dilemma is this is the survey land of the property. The setback is the dashed line by ZBA, and I want to encroach on the back and the front. And I guess I'm asking for, assuming that you agree on the aesthetic and whatever the details of the windows, is that something you would support? Or I heard someone earlier talking about building too close to the lot lines. I understand that. And so I'm sensitive to that. We're trying to stay within the, the FAR massing ratios and things like that.
Okay, so where is 62? 62 is at the bottom of the screen?
Yes, bottom of the screen.
Gotcha.
I don't see where the problem is because you're within the zoning.
No, it's not.
Well, with
the
the projects I want to do is this, and I'd like to wrap the front. What's drawn here doesn't encroach on the front, but I'd like to encroach on the front and wrap the porch around the front as it used to be. Matching some appropriate roof pitches, etc.
So that porch would extend around the front of the house there. So you'd have a wraparound porch?
Correct, but I'd only extend it over the door and then I'd terminate it with a nice porch and 2 columns and appropriate lighting as you guys approve.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have historic photos that show that was the way the porch looked, or
There is something in the library archives that shows a handwritten top view on a map that shows the porch. I'd have to go to the library to dig it out again, but it's in the archives.
And this is for a rental?
No, this would be for a single family resident.
Also,
Yeah.
I'll say one thing. Note, people often don't realize that the railroad tracks are a public right of way too.
Yep.
So anything you do in the back is as subject as anything you do in the front.
Okay, that's great to know. I mean, the rear of the house is a mess right now.
Yeah, stay on the proposed Main Street view for a second, please.
Sorry. This one or the rendering?
Oh, one more up.
So
Okay.
up, meaning
No,
go that way.
keep going the way you were going.
Sorry. There.
There, thank you.
Hmm.
I think that's the essence of what you're talking about there.
Correct. Except I would like to bring that porch around the front and then terminate it and sort of break the front facade up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, I think, architecturally that's going to help quite a bit. I've noticed this house for many years driving by. The one to the left of it has been kind of renovated. It's more yellow.
Yep.
And looks nice, but this one definitely I've wondered what the status is, and it does look like it's a little bit been neglected a few years. So it's nice to see, someone wanting to come fix it up.
So you brought up a great point about the house next door. The maker's report on my house calls it an Italianate style, which I vehemently disagree with. And I think it's just a mischaracterization. This is clearly a very basic utilitarian farmhouse. It was constructed by a mason in 2 pieces. It's not an Italianate architectural house, and I'm not looking to cutesify it or turn into some painted lady from Martha's Vineyard. Like, I recognize its utilitarian origin, so we want to make it nice and livable, but not cutesify it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's more
unless
of a
you guys say you want it cutesified.
It was probably railroad staff or people that built the railroad.
I mean, to be honest, it was a rooming house when I bought it in 2006. It's legally was converted to a 2-family in the 50s. It's been rental housing, as far as I can tell, for its entire life. It's been a rental house as long as I've owned it, and I bought it in 2006 and I bought it as a rooming house and turned it into effectively a 2-family. So yeah, it's workforce housing, and it's that's why I'm not trying to put a 3-car garage and a driving range out the back. We're trying to bring it back and do the right thing by the house.
Well, I'll go so far as to say that I don't think what you're proposing is destroying its historic integrity. I say with a wink and a smile.
No, I agree with you, Walter.
Yeah.
No, it's an enhancement for sure.
Yeah. But it's subordinate to what's there and, but follows the lines. Yeah.
What on
Not
the
being
back?
torn down.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
And
Kristen.
it's not being torn down.
Right.
Correct.
I think
Sorry, Sven, what were you going to ask?
I was going to ask, my question about the Italianate style falls into what color I have to order for my windows and my paint and my trim. And all the colors on the Italianate color chart I find to be inappropriate and unappealing. And I think a lot of the farmhouse revival ones are more appropriate, but I defer to you guys in terms of guidance about what color palette will you make me choose from?
Okay. You're not going to be limited by us, if I may say, to a color range based on it being an Italianate house.
Yes.
Okay, good.
So if it's an approved color from the rainbow of approved colors, I don't think you're
Okay.
going to have a problem. If that's your concern.
Yeah, well, because we'd like to do a white house with dark trim, and so the windows that we pick have to come in a dark color.
Bless you. That's great.
That's okay. You guys are
Well, I'm just, we reviewed a house right in the center of town that was doing the white and black, which is everywhere these days. And we objected to that. So that white and black thing, which has been around for about 15 years, is going to come and go and look dated in 10 years. So I would be very uncomfortable if that's where you're headed on this, which just, the term developers use, the modern farmhouse or something like that. It's not the color scheme that we've ever had in historic Concord. So
so some of the ones that are dark green, is that more?
No, it's the stark white and black that it's just this trend sweeping the country, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I've seen that. And
it's the opposite of Henry Ford.
I don't think I want stark white and or jet black. That said, I'm colorblind. But like a lightish color that's sort of off-whitey that works, and then if it's a dark green or some of the colonial dark colors, I like that. And
yeah, and I'll just make another comment. I mean, I know this house. I like Jeff. I've looked at it numerous times. It's down at the end of the line down there. And what I like about it is it's so spare. It's so spare now because it's practically falling apart. And I'm happy you're fixing it up. And so I would, I'm a little concerned about the various forms on the side of the house. There's a porch, and then there's a second floor which sits on the roof of the porch but doesn't extend down through. And I'm an architect, so it's my architect's eyes. It's pretty busy, and the more simple you can make it, and I totally understand the need for addition, but these houses have a spareness to them which makes them beautiful, and spare, simple additions need to be done in the same manner. So that's a caution rather than thinking you need to add more detail. How can you make the additions as simple as possible in keeping with this nice, absolute, it's almost like a kid's drawing of a gable house. When it's all done, I think it's going to be a very handsome house because the box is a shape, but that would be my concern about that left-hand side. It's going to take a lot of thought on massing. So to my mind, it's a bit of a jumble. There's different roof pitches and
I guess that was, I didn't mean to interrupt. Some of that was intentional because it seems like some of these farmhouses sort of rambled, but your point's taken about the massing and the simplicity. And I'll relay that to the architect who unfortunately couldn't join us tonight. And
Sorry, go ahead. I apologize.
The next set of plans I have will take that into account. That does bring up one point, is that the house, according to the maker's photo, had shutters, and they were not. It's not had shutters since 2006 of my ownership. And I don't know when they were removed or when that photo was taken. But is that something you'd want to see put back on? And is that how important is that to the commission?
We wouldn't require it, but if you decide to put them on, which I think would really help the house, because when I saw that photo, I think it does, they have to be real shutters. When they close, they meet.
They have to actually close the window.
Yeah, they have to fit the window. They can't be, screw on
vinyl plates.
Yeah, understood.
So you have to.
I grew up in an old farmhouse, and I spent plenty of summers scraping and painting those shutters. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
So you just look in our guidelines, and we have a section on shutters. So you just read that, and it'll tell you what the requirements are. But we wouldn't require you to put them on.
Oh, but the flip side, Tim, I think, is if there's historic documentation that the house had it, we'd be thrilled if you're willing to
absolutely
add it back on.
Mm-hmm. great.
We also didn't answer the question you asked us about windows. I think maybe I'll venture a straw man. I think our preference would be to restore all the windows to the more historic 2/2, I guess is what it's likely to be.
Yeah.
And get rid of the windows you don't like very much.
Yeah, and I think that with the guidance that you gave me around color, I can now find a 2/2 wood window, Marvin or Pella or whatever it is, that has a dark frame that's not jet black, has, proper. How about true divided light versus simulated divided light? I didn't hear a lot of discussion around that tonight, but it sounded like you're okay with simulated divided light. In
We are,
circumstances.
because we allow simulated divided lights with insulating glass.
Off the phone.
If they're, Marvin does that, that very well, with applied mullions with a spacer bar and all that bit. So it's inside and outside.
So it's in the middle in the vacuum sense, but then there's applied.
Well, the wood is
grills on the
on the outside. It's a true simulated. It's a simulated divided light. It's not a piece of
plastic.
It's not a piece of plastic.
There's wood on the outside, and there's wood on the inside pane, and then there's a spacer bar in between the glass.
Yep. Okay. Got it.
It's just top of the line Marvin Ultimate.
Yep.
You'll see that's what they have, and they're beautiful windows.
And Tim, it's the question here was choosing a color for the window that complemented the body of the house color. So the suggestion, the implication here is that you're talking about a clad window, right?
Or it could be
painted wood window.
Right. Well, but
I guess you don't allow. You discourage clad windows. I thought I heard.
We very strongly, yes. We always highly recommend push for wood all the time.
So I will, with tonight's feedback, I have focus on the addition as well as on the windows. So that's helpful. Thank you. On the back of the house now has a stairway. There's a platform off the second floor. There's an entrance, an egress, a stairway down to the ground, a funny little pop-out addition. We would love to just take that all off and put a simple, clean, single, basically the rendering we saw where it wraps around the back. And then there's a little entryway there. I hadn't done a rendering of the back because I had been misinformed by another prior applicant that the right of way that you guys overlooked the train tracks as a right of way, but it sounds like you do consider the back of the house.
That's correct.
And converting from a 2-family to a 1-family may affect the need or desirability of having a stair in the back as well.
Exactly. Yeah, we definitely plan to remove the stairway because we don't need it as an egress.
Exactly.
So does that mean we can't put solar panels on the back of the house? Or do you discourage solar in general in the historic district?
No.
No, not really. I mean, increasingly it comes up and increasingly is a part of
it's
life.
It's
So,
20.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
if it was facing, if the portion of the roof that wrapped around the rear of the house had solar panels along it that were only visible from the tracks, is that something you might consider?
Absolutely.
Okay.
For what it's worth, I renovated a house in the historic district, and the HDC approved solar panels that I purposely sited in less conspicuous spot. So
yeah, and if I recall, I think First Parish has solar too, right?
Oh yeah. First Parish does, and Mill Dam Apartments do, and I mean it's.
Yeah, I did a Google view, and it seemed like there were a few. So that's good because I'd like to do that. Are there any other things so we talked about windows. Oh, so the foundation. There may be a small portion of the foundation of this addition that's visible, but it won't be visible from the street because there's a fence. Does that count, or do you need me to address the look of the foundation?
Sorry, could you say that again?
No, if it's screened and you allow for proper screening so that it's not visible, then it's moved.
Okay.
Like foundation plantings or
a fence or.
Okay, great.
We can go back and forth on that. I don't think we're going to require you to do ocean
A
block
granite foundation.
stone or something.
Well, I guess that was where I was going with this, is that the historic document does call out a specific cut granite on the foundation on the right side of the house. It calls it out as that particular style of granite dates that to the late 1800s. And so I did make a call up to the Barry Granite folks to see if we could replicate it and do a foundation pour that has a shelf to be able to simulate that. But at the same time, it's a massive expense. And if it doesn't have to be done, it's, I think, literally like 10
Right.
inches of
I mean, we're not
exposed.
going to, you could leave the foundation, you can leave anything you have as is.
No, this
You
is on
can't-
the addition. It's
The
the
new
concrete foundation of the
concrete
addition.
Oh, yeah.
foundation.
I mean,
There'll be a very small amount of it showing, and I'm wondering if I have to have a shelf put in and put granite along there.
No.
And it sounds like if it's screened, no. So cool. That's helpful. All right. Well, I really appreciate your time and you staying this late and your, service to the community of Concord, and all of that. Is there anything I should know or?
No.
Well,
Appreciate your asking.
yeah, Sven, it wouldn't be a bad idea to, since, you've got a lot of balls in the air on this project, to take a look at our HDC design guidelines, which you can find on the HDC website.
Yep.
And there'll be a link for it. And it's pretty comprehensive, and it's broken down by every possible category. And I would recommend you check them out.
And make sure
Yeah,
your
you're talking specifically like
architect
with
reads it.
Yeah, no, I've got and I've read over the window guidelines,
Right.
the door guidelines. I have a pretty good idea of the style of, it was really the colors were the questions. And I guess my only other question is, and I think the answer is it's multiple applications, is should the landscape plan be and driveway? Because there's no paved driveway right now. It's just sort of a dirt patch that people drive on. There's no formal walkway. It's a bunch of stepping stones. Like, at the point that we address that, can we just make that a separate project, separate application?
Yes.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can make anything a
Yeah.
separate application. Mhm.
But is there a desire by the board to have everything looked at as one? Like the plantings in front are sort of scrubby, overgrown weed trees that, I'd love to sort of remove and
we don't
replace
have
with something.
jurisdiction over landscaping except as it applies to screening things.
Okay,
There's
so
some value, given that this is going to be a reasonably complicated thing, having it in a few modules makes it, I think, easier for everybody, starting with yourself.
Okay, great. Okay, well, thank you guys so much.
Go
Sure.
for it, Sven.
I appreciate it. I will, can I bring in the updated everything at the next meeting and either have it looked at informally, or if I can convince the powers that be to do it formally? Either way, can I see you at the next meeting?
Why don't we talk, Sven? Because I had suggested that you talk to Kevin Pickering too about your zoning.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna queue him up in the next week if I can.
And if you want a formal hearing, then we'd have to schedule it with the legal ads and all of that. So
Yeah.
that would not be able to take place at the next meeting.
And the clock starts ticking if you propose things. Right?
Right.
In
once
terms
you-
of, so I guess, am I better off? Could you give me more informal feedback if I address some of what I think I've heard tonight, and have you either go, oh no, or just to do what you did tonight, but try to get closer to guidance, or is that not how it works?
Well, like, as I said earlier, yeah, there's sort of a balance where we, have something like this, like an informal, like, yeah, this looks good to that, but to then get more granular, is really meant to be in the formal deliberation process when it's had proper public notice and that sort of thing.
So,
And at that point, so you're saying we've missed the public notice for this June meeting?
That's correct.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Got it. Okay, so then it won't be formal. So does that mean I can't come to June to get informal feedback?
may I address this?
And
Sure.
Say, Sven, that's not how it works.
Sorry, I'm not. I can't see who's speaking, but I can hear. Sorry, go ahead.
Walter, that's not how it works.
And Sven, I'm here to help you too.
Yeah.
Staff is here to help you through some of these things.
Okay, yeah, and I think with tonight's answers now, I can give a complete detail on windows and doors and colors and all that. It was really the Italianate question was holding me up because I didn't know what even to pick or what style where we have Harvey. So, okay, so I will get all the detail in, and then whatever the first meeting we can be officially heard, we will see you then.
Yeah, that's when it starts. Yeah, but
All right.
like Ann said, the planning office can answer all sorts of questions ad infinitum. Mhm.
Got it. Awesome. And I appreciate everyone's help. Thank
Okay,
you.
sure. Good luck.
Have a good night.
All right.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay, historic markers.
Okay.
Do we want to bounce that? Do you need to, I mean, Ann, this has been a long day for you too. Do you want to bounce it to the next meeting, or do we need to hear it for tonight?
You don't have to hear it for tonight. I'm happy to do it. It's actually quite short.
Okay, then let's do it because the next couple of meetings are going to be long.
Okay. All right. So it's just a little informative presentation here about the existing historic marker program that's been run by the Historical Commission since 1974. And of course, this program is within and outside of historic districts. I listed the goals here. The property owners apply, they suggest text, then the Historical Commission and staff review the text carefully and make sure that it's accurate. And then it's up to the property owners to, work with the sign manufacturer, and they pay the sign manufacturer directly to, create and also install the signs directly on their homes. So these are the standard sizes that have been used since the 1970s. And as you see, they're for, very succinct text. And I realized that the HDC or the Historic District Act allows for signs that are less than 1 square foot, and these are about 1 square foot. But now there's more interest in adding additional content to these signs. And so the Historical Commission back in 2025 approved this text: Bigelow House 1840, Safe Harbor for Shadrach Minkins 1851. And typically the sign manufacturer comes to staff and we review the design before they're produced, but in this case that step didn't happen, and so he created 2 separate signs. And actually I showed them to Kate when they first arrived, and she had suggestions about consolidating them onto one sign, which is what the Historical Commission had anticipated in the first place. So back to the drawing board, we asked him to, consolidate the content onto one sign. And he came up with a number of different dimensions. One is very similar to existing signs. Actually, here we are. So here are the standard sizes, and then here are the possible new sizes for additional text. So the first one, he stuck very closely to the existing sign standard sizes, but the text is tiny. And then he also expanded them to larger sizes. So I wanted to get sort of just your initial feedback on whether you think this is a good idea, whether the Historical Commission could submit an application to the HDC to adopt a new standard size that could be just approved for any house in the district, ideally, and how you felt about that concept, or if there's some other way you'd like to approach it.
If I may, I went through this for River Cottage, and because of the tiny size of the sign, I elected not to bother. So I actually feel fairly strongly that a slight increase in the size of the sign is appropriate, because they're smaller than the signs that you have in London when you're standing 2 feet away from them on a sidewalk. And most of the ones in the historic district are at least 20 feet away from you when you try to read them. So, there's a sign there, but unless you trespass, you can't read the damn thing. And you can't get in the top row, you can't get sometimes the most interesting content.
Right.
Who the hell's, if I'm an outsider, who the hell is N.S. Hosmer and why should I give a shit? I just think if part of what we're trying to do is stimulate interest in the history of this town, adding 2 more lines that triple the amount of information content is in my judgment not a bad trade-off.
I agree. It always kind of bugged me how all the signs are the Patrick Carpenter, the Coulter, like it's all the men of the house are there.
For example, right?
And what's the importance of the house? Like my house was in the Underground Railroad.
Right.
That's probably more significant than the people that owned it.
True.
To me, the second row looks entirely fine and appropriate. Keep the serif type font. I think the proportions look nice.
Yeah, I agree. Particularly since the CHC is the one issuing these, I don't think it's going to go, terribly awry by saying they can be larger if they see the need.
Well, I have a thought on this also. I think on the first shot that you showed us, Dan, was showing 2 different signs to convey the information.
Right.
Right. My first thought was the one on the bottom does not need the logo on it by any stretch. And if we were to maintain the size of the top sign standardized, but allow for a second edition underneath it without the logo, that would not be nearly as imposing as a larger sign. You could put whatever you want on there in whatever size typeface you want and put as much information as you were willing, as Bill was saying, to allow to not be able to be read on it. But that would allow for standardization of, without confusion, of what the house was, Bigelow House, 1840, and then why it matters.
Why you should care. Yeah.
Why you should care would be a separate.
That's an interesting option. That's
the double bridge that's a good point. Having 2 bridges is kind of
a
odd.
little funny.
And it would maintain, I think, a consistency in the size. The other thought that I had, which is not directly to these signs, was that there's size creep. Without opening up a can of worms, there's been concern expressed about the size of signage across town already, and then it becomes an arms race.
That's fair.
You let these get a little bit bigger, and then something else gets a little bit bigger, and then this information is more significant than that, so that needs to be larger, rather than going.
I like that idea a lot.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I like that idea too, particularly if, down the road they find a little bit more about, this house, they can put on another plaque,
Put on another, either change the one on the bottom or
put one below it, and that, becomes a competition. Who's got
That's what I was thinking.
all the way down to the ground.
I've got 4 plaques in my facade.
We can
You can turn anything into a
You
competition.
set a limit, maybe.
No.
There's a cap. You can only get 4.
Not American. Yeah.
I suspect one of these years, not tonight, we will get asked whether having a QR code on them is kosher. I wouldn't be thrilled, but that's a follow-on question we are bound to get.
It might be useful though.
Oh, no question about it. Not very historic.
Self-service is so miserable that it would just be frustrating, right?
But that might also encourage trespassing.
Right.
That's
to
also
get
true.
Property, right.
True.
You also need cell phone coverage.
Right.
Problem.
Which, yeah.
All right. We done enough
We won't go
damage for
there.
tonight?
Is all that a help, Anne?
Sure. So do you think I should come back with a application from the Historical Commission for just a second sign without the Northbridge logo. And
Well, I do, but I think it's a very cool idea.
It's
Come up
true.
with two,
Yeah, I agree.
and even if you have to make up, make it, nonsense, it's just kind of showing two things you'd say about the XYZ house.
I don't know.
Name of the person and why it was important.
Yeah.
Some of the signs you showed, though, do have both information in one sign, which might be more concise.
The problem, like that's one of the problems I had at River Cottage is like Simon Brown. He was like 4 different things, and that doesn't allow me to mention his wife, who was Daniel Chester French's aunt, and had Daniel stay there, and when he won the commission and all that stuff. So I'm not trying to turn it into a historic marker, but just saying that the guy published a newspaper isn't that very. It's not very helpful.
I think in general, though, one sign is better than 2 signs as a rule of a group that's trying to keep signs as small as possible.
Maybe we look at both options. We have
Think of it
Walter's
as one
idea.
instance of signage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else, Sam?
No, that's all.
All right. Oh, and I'll just add to the commission before we go. Tonight, when we were hearing about the glass door needed for health and well-being, I'm actually going to put in a request
Yes,
to
thank you.
town planner and to council
Yep.
About that. That is the first time we have ever heard that.
That's worth getting the facts right.
Yes. Yeah. So just, I'll keep you posted on what I hear, but since that came up. So
The
anyway,
health case was interesting.
and what?
That whole application was
Yes.
interesting.
Yes. So, they don't, yeah. So we'll, case it comes up again.
Okay.
Anyway, I think we're done. And could I have a motion to?
I move we adjourn.
And a second?
Second.
Show of hands, everybody. We're not going through. Aye. And any opposed? No. Great. Okay. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you
Good
so
night.
much.